design departments, you had to work in industries, corporations. Party, that is, of course, the Chinese Communist Party. And in the coming week, they have a lot of things to cover. They will talk about General Secretary Xi Jinping's speech. They will revise the party's constitution. They will elect a new Central Committee of the 19th CPC, and then it will elect a new Politburo and their standing committee members.
Distinguished delegates, the Communist Party of China's 19th National Congress is officially launched. Please all stand up. Sing the national anthem. Please take your seats.
在隆重举行
Now, when we are holding the 19th National Congress, and at this solemn moment, we will hold our sense of respect to pay our tribute to the previous leaders like Mao Zedong, Zhou Enlai, Liu Shaoqi, Zhu De, Deng Xiaoping, Chen Yun, and all the other former communist leaders and warriors. Now let's rise to pay our tribute to them. This is the end. Please take your seats. Distinguished delegates, the Communist Party of China's 19th National Congress should have a number of attendees of 2,280. Special delegates stand at the number of 74. In total, we have 2,354 delegates to be present. And today, due to some other reasons, we have a leave of about 16 people. So actually, we have 2,338 delegates present right now. And we also have some other members, aside from the Communist Party of China and the other circles of lives, being with us right now. Now let's applaud for their presence. Now, let's give the floor to President Xi Jinping on behalf of the 18th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China to deliver the report. Comrades, now, on behalf of the 18th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, I will now deliver a report to the 19th National Congress. The 19th National Congress of the Communist Party of China is a meeting of great importance taking place during the decisive stage in building a moderately prosperous society in all respects, and at a critical moment as socialism with Chinese characteristics has entered a new era. The theme of the Congress is remain true to our original aspiration and keep our mission firmly in mind. Hold high the banner of socialism with Chinese characteristics. Secure a decisive victory in building a moderately prosperous society in all respects. Strive for the great success of socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. And work tirelessly to realize the Chinese dream of national rejuvenation. Never forget why you started, and you can accomplish your mission. The original aspiration and mission of the Chinese Communists is to seek happiness for the Chinese people and rejuvenation for the Chinese nation. This founding aspiration and mission is what inspires Chinese Communists to advance. In our party, each and every one of us must always breathe the same breath as the people, share the same future, and stay truly connected to them. The aspirations of the people to live a better life must always be the focus of our efforts. We must keep on striving with endless energy toward the great goal of the national rejuvenation.
实现中华民族伟大复兴的宏伟目标，奋勇前进。当前
Right now,
国内外形势
both China and the world are in the midst of profound and complex changes. China is still in an important period of strategic opportunity for development. The prospects are bright, but the challenges are severe. All comrades must aim high and look far, be alert to dangers even in times of calm, have the courage to reform and break new ground, never become hardened to change or inactive. We will unite the Chinese people of all ethnic groups and lead them to a decisive victory in building a moderately prosperous society in all respects and to secure the success of socialism with Chinese characteristics. Firstly, about the past 5 years, our work and historic change. The 5 years since the 18th National Congress have been a truly remarkable 5 years in the course of the development of the party and the country. Outside China, we have been confronted with sluggish global economic recovery, frequent outbreaks of regional conflicts and disturbances, and intensifying global issues. At home, we have entered profound changes as China has entered a new normal in economic development. We have upheld the underlying principle of pursuing progress while ensuring stability, risen to challenges, pioneered and pushed ahead, and made historic achievements in reform, opening up, and socialist modernization. To put the guiding principles from our 18th National Congress into action, the Party Central Committee has held 7 plenary sessions. There, decisions and plans were made on issues of major importance, from reforming the institutions, transforming the functions of government, to deepening reform in all areas, advancing law-based governance, formulating 13th five-year plan, and seeing governance over the party is exercised fully and with vigor. In the past 5 years, we have implemented the 5-sphere integrated plan and the 4-pronged comprehensive strategy, fulfilled the goals of the 12th five-year plan, and made smooth progress in implementing the 13th five-year plan. On all fronts, new advances have been made for the cause of the party and the country. We have made major achievements in economic development. We have remained committed to the new development philosophy, adopted the right approach to development, and endeavored to transform the growth model. The result has been a constant improvement in the quality and effect of development. The economy has maintained a medium-high growth rate, making China a leader among the major economies. With the GDP rising from 54 trillion to 80 trillion RMB yuan, China has maintained its position as the world's second largest economy and contributed more than 30% of global economic growth. The supply-side structural reform has made further headway, bringing a steady improvement in the economic structure. Emerging industries like the digital economy are thriving. The construction of high-speed railways, highways, bridges, ports, airports, and other types of infrastructure has picked up pace. Agricultural modernization has steadily advanced. The annual grain production has reached 600 million metric tons. The level of urbanization has risen by an annual average of 1.2 percentage points. And more than 80 million people who have moved from rural to urban areas have gained permanent urban residency. Regional development has become more balanced. The Belt and Road Initiative and coordinated development of the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region and the development of the Yangtze Economic Belt have made notable progress. Through devoting great energy to implementing the innovation-driven development strategy, we have seen accomplishments towards making China a country of innovators, with major advances made in science and technology, including Tiangong-2 Space Lab, deep-sea manned submersible Jiaolong, and of the 500-meter aperture spherical telescope Tianyan, the launch of dark matter probe satellite Wukong and quantum science satellite Mozi, and the test flights of C919. Construction on islands and reefs in South China Sea has seen steady growth. Open economy has been steadily improved. Now China leads the world in trade, outbound investment, and foreign exchange reserves. We have made major breakthroughs in deepening reform. We have taken comprehensive steps to deepen reform quickly but steadily, and worked with resolve to remove institutional barriers in all areas. We have taken moves across the board, achieved breakthroughs in many areas, and made deeper progress in reform. We have pursued reform in a more systematic, holistic, and coordinated way, increasing its coverage and depth. Thanks to the launch of over 1,500 reform measures, breakthroughs have been made in many key areas, and the general frameworks for reform have been established in major fields. The system of socialism with Chinese characteristics has been further improved, with notable progress made in modernizing China's system and capacity for governance. Throughout society, development is full of vitality and is driven by greater creativity. We have taken major steps in developing democracy and the rule of law. We have actively developed socialist democracy and advanced law-based governance. We have stepped up institution building across the board to make integrated advances in party leadership and the people running the country and law-based governance. We have improved the institutions and mechanisms by which the party exercises leadership in a continuous way. Steady progress has been made in enhancing socialist democracy, inter-party democracy has been expanded, and socialist consultative democracy is flourishing. The Patriotic United Front has been consolidated and developed, and new approaches have been adopted for work related to ethnic and religious affairs. Further progress has been made in ensuring our legislation is sound, law enforcement is strict, judicial justice is upheld, and the law is observed by everyone. Our efforts to build a country, government, and society based on the rule of law have been mutually reinforcing. The system of distinctively Chinese socialist rule of law has been steadily improved, and public awareness of the rule of law has risen markedly. Good progress has been made in piloting the reform of the national supervision system, and effective measures have been taken to reform the system of government administration and judicial system and develop systems to apply checks and oversight over the exercise of power. We have made significant advances on theoretical and cultural fronts. We have strengthened party leadership over ideological work. and explored new ground in advancing party-related theories. The importance of Marxism as a guiding theory is even better appreciated. Socialism with Chinese characteristics and the China dream have been embraced by our people. Core socialist values and fine traditional Chinese culture are alive in the people's hearts. Initiatives to improve public etiquette and ethical standards have proved successful. Public cultural services have been improved. Art and literature are thriving, and cultural programs and industries are going strong. The development, administration, and functioning of Internet services have been enhanced. Fitness for all programs and competitive sports have seen extensive growth. Our country's underlying values hold greater appeal than ever before, and the wave of positive energy felt throughout the society is building. We, the Chinese people, have greater confidence in our culture. China's soft power and international influence of the Chinese culture have greatly been improved. There is greater unity in thinking both within the party and throughout society. We have steadily improved people's living standards. Our vision of making development people-centered has been acted on. A whole raft of initiatives to benefit the people has seen implementation, and the people's sense of fulfillment has grown stronger. Decisive progress has been made in the fight against poverty. More than 60 million people have been lifted out of poverty, and the poverty headcount ratio has dropped from 10.2% to less than 4%. All-round progress has been made in the development of education, with remarkable advances made in the central and western regions and in rural areas. Employment has registered steady growth, with an average of over 13 million urban jobs created each year. Growth of urban and rural personal incomes has outpaced economic growth, and the middle-income group has been expanding. A social security system covering both urban and rural residents has taken shape. Both public health and medical services have improved markedly. The solid progress has been made in building government-subsidized projects to ensure basic housing needs are met. Social governance systems have been improved. Law and order has been maintained, and national security has been fully enhanced. We have made notable progress in building an ecological civilization. We have devoted serious energy to ecological conservation. As a result, the entire party and the whole country have become more purposeful and active in pursuing green economy. And there has been a clear shift away from the tendency to neglect ecological and environmental protection. Efforts to develop a system for building an ecological civilization have been accelerated, and the system of functional zoning has been improved. Progress has been made in piloting the national park system. Across-the-board efforts to conserve resources have seen encouraging progress, and the intensity of energy and resource consumption has been significantly reduced. Smooth progress has been made in major ecological conservation and restoration projects, and forest coverage has been increased. Ecological and environmental governance has been significantly strengthened, leading to marked improvements in the environment. Taking a driving seat in international cooperation to respond to climate change, China has become an important participant, contributor, and torchbearer in the global endeavor for ecological civilization. We have initiated a new stage in strengthening and revitalizing the armed forces. With a view to realizing the Chinese dream and the dream of building a powerful military, we have developed a strategy for the military under new circumstances and have made every effort to modernize national defense and the armed forces. We convened the Gutian military political work meeting to revive and pass on the proud traditions and fine conduct of our party and our armed forces, and have seen a strong improvement in the political integrity of the people's armed forces. Historic breakthroughs have been made in reforming national defense and the armed forces. We have established a new military structure with the Central Military Commission exercising leadership, the theater commands responsible for military operations, and the services focusing on developing capacities. This represents a revolutionary restructuring of the organization and the services of the People's Armed Forces. We have strengthened military training and war preparedness and undertaken major missions related to the protection of maritime rights, countering terrorism, maintaining stability, disaster rescue and relief, international peacekeeping, escort services in the Gulf of Aden, and humanitarian assistance. We have stepped up weapons and equipment development and made major progress in enhancing military preparedness. The People's Armed Forces have taken solid strides on the path of building a powerful military with Chinese characteristics.
We have made new progress in work related to Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan. We have fully and faithfully implemented the principle of one country, two systems and ensured that the central government exercises its overall jurisdiction over Hong Kong and Macau as mandated by the Chinese Constitution and Basic Law of the two special administrative regions. We have thus boosted exchanges and cooperation between the mainland and the two regions and maintained prosperity and stability in Hong Kong and Macau. We have upheld the One China principle and 1992 consensus, promoted the peaceful development of cross-strait relations, strengthened cross-strait economic and cultural exchanges and cooperation, and held a historical meeting between the leaders of the two sides. We have responded as appropriate to the political development in Taiwan, resolutely opposed and deterred separatist elements advocating Taiwan independence, and vigorously safeguarded peace and stability in the Taiwan Straits. We have made further progress in China's diplomacy on all fronts. We have made all-round efforts in the pursuit of major country diplomacy with Chinese characteristics, thus advancing China's diplomatic agenda in a comprehensive, multi-level, multifaceted way and creating a favorable external environment for China's development. We have jointly pursued the Belt and Road Initiative, initiated the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, set up the Silk Road Fund, and hosted the first Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation, the 22nd APEC Economic Leaders Meeting, the G20 2016 Summit in Hangzhou, the BRICS Summit in Xiamen, and the fourth summit of the Conference on Interactions and Confidence-Building Measures in Asia. China champions development for a community with a shared future of mankind and encourages development of a global governance system. With this, we have seen a further rise in China's international influence, ability to inspire and power to shape. And China has made great new contributions to global peace and development. We have achieved remarkable outcomes, ensuring full and strict governance over the party. We have made sweeping efforts to strengthen party leadership and party building, and taken strong actions in transform lax and weak governance over the party. We encourage all party members to hold the party constitution in great esteem. We urge them to strengthen their consciousness of the need to maintain political integrity, think in big picture terms, and follow the leadership core in keeping alignment, and to uphold the authority of the Central Committee and the centralized unified leadership. We tighten political discipline and rules to ensure the political responsibility for governance over the party is fulfilled at each level of the party organization. We have committed to examining ourselves in a mirror, tightening our attire, taking a bath, and treating our alignments. Launched activities to see members command and act on the party's mass line, and initiate a campaign for the observation of the 3 stricts and 3 earnests. We have regularized and institutionalized the requirement for all party members to have a solid understanding of the party constitution, party regulations, and related major policy addressed to meet party standards. As a result, the ideals and convictions of all party members have been strengthened, and their sense of the party consensus have deepened. We have adapted a standard fitting for a new era to assess the caliber of officials and achieve a notable improvement in the way officials are selected and appointed. Further advances have been made in the reform and institutional framework for party building. We have given top priority to ensure compliance with the party discipline and tackle the prominent problems that promote the strong public reaction that threaten to erode the very foundation of the party governance. We adopt the 8-point decisions on improving party and government conduct have taken through actions against practice or formalities for formality's sake, bureaucratism, hedonism, and extravagance, and have staunchly opposed privilege seeking, discipline. Inspections have cut like blades through corruptions and misconduct. They have covered every party committee in all departments at the central and provincial levels. No place has been out of bounds, and no grounds left unturned, and no tolerance shown in the fight against corruption. We have taken firm action to take out tigers, whiteflies, and hunt down foxes. The goal of creating the deterrent against corruption have been initiated, attained. The caging institutions that prevent corruption have been strengthened, and more defense against corruption are in the making. The anti-corruption campaign has been built, and a clashing tide has been consolidated and continues to develop. The achievement of the past 5 years have touched every area and broke new grounds. The changes in China over the past 5 years have been profound and fundamental. For 5 years, our party has demonstrated tremendous political courage and powerful sense of mission as it had developed new ideas, new thinking, and new strategies. Adopted a raft of major principles and policies, launched a host of major initiatives, and pushed ahead with many major tasks. We have solved many tough problems that were long on the agenda but never resolved, and accomplished many things that were wanted but never got done. With this, we have promoted historical shifts in the cause of the party and the country. These historical changes will have a powerful and far-reaching effect on the development of this cause. Over the past 5 years, we have acted with courage to confront major risks and tests facing the party and to address prominent problems with the party itself. Within firm resolve, we have tightened discipline and improved party conduct, fought corruption and punished wrongdoings, and removed serious potential dangers in the party and the country. As a result, both the inter-party political atmosphere and the political ecosystem of the party have improved markedly. The party's ability to innovate, power to unite, and energy to fight have all been significantly strengthened. Party solidarity and unity have been reinforced, and our engagement with the people has been greatly improved. Revolutionary tempering has been made our party stronger and is now radiates with great vitality. With this efforts to develop the cause of the party and the country have gained a strong political underpinning. But we must be very clear. There are still many inadequacies in our work and many difficulties and challenges to face. The main ones are as follows. Some acute problems caused by unbalanced and inadequate development await solutions, and the quality and effect of development are not what they should be, and China's ability to innovate needs to be stronger. The real economy awaits improvement, and we have a long way to go in protecting the environment. In work on public well-being, there are still many areas where we fall short, and poverty alleviation remains a formidable task. There are still large disparities in development between rural and urban areas, between regions, and in income distribution, and our people face many difficulties in environment, employment, education, healthcare, housing, and elderly care. The level of civil-mindedness needs further improvement. Social tension and problems are intertwined. Much remains to be done in seeing the country's governance is based in law, and China's system capacity for governance need to be further strengthened. Ideological struggles is still complicated, and in national security we face new developments. Some reform plans and major policies and measures need to be better implemented. Many dimensions of party building remain weak. These are all problems that demand our full attention to resolve. The achievements in the past 5 years are the result of a strong leadership of the Party Central Committee, and more importantly, the result of all party members and all the Chinese people pulling together in our pursuit. On behalf of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, I express our heartfelt thanks to the people of all ethnic groups, to all the other political parties, to people's organizations, and patriotic figures from all sectors of society, to our fellow countrymen and women in Hong Kong and Macau Special Administrative Region, and in Taiwan, to overseas Chinese, and to all our friends from around the world who have shown understanding and the support for China's modernization. Comrades, in the early days of reform and opening up, the party made a clarion call for us to take a path of our own and build socialism with Chinese characteristics. Since that time, the party has united to lead all the Chinese people in tireless struggle, propelling China into a leading position in terms of economic and technological strength, defense capacities, and composite national strength. China's international standing has risen as never before. Our party, our country, our people, our forces, and our nation have changed in ways without precedent. The Chinese nations, with an entirely new posture, now stands tall and firm in the East. With decades of hard work, socialism with Chinese characteristics has crossed the threshold into a new era. This is a new historical juncture in China's development. This is what socialists with Chinese characteristics entering a new era mean. The Chinese nation, which since modern time began, has endured so much for so long, has achieved tremendous transformation, has stood up, grown rich, and become strong. And it now embraces the brilliant prospect of rejuvenation. It means that scientific socialism is full of vitality in the 21st century of China, and that the banner of socialism with Chinese characteristics is now flying high and proud for all to see. It means that the path, the theory, the system, and the culture of socialism with Chinese characteristics have kept developing, blazing a new trail for other developing countries to achieve modernization. It offers for other countries and nations who want to speed up their development while preserving their independence a new option, and it offers Chinese wisdom and the Chinese approach to solving the problems facing mankind. This new era will be an era of building on past successes to further advance our cause, and of continuing in a new historical context to strive for the success of socialism with Chinese characteristics. It will be an era of securing a decisive victory in building a moderately prosperous society in all respects, and for moving on to all our efforts to build a green, modern, socialist country. It will be an era for the Chinese people of all ethnic groups to work together and work hard to create a better life for themselves and ultimately achieve common prosperity for everyone. It will be an era for all of us, the sons and daughters of the Chinese nation, to strive with one heart to realize the Chinese dream of national rejuvenation. It will be an era that sees China moving closer to center stage and making greater contributions to mankind. As socialism with China characteristics has entered a new era, the principal contradiction facing Chinese society has evolved. What we now face is the contradiction between unbalanced and inadequate development of the people's ever-growing needs for a better life. China has seen the basic needs of over 1 billion people met, have basically made it possible for people to live decent lives, and will soon bring the building of a moderately prosperous society to a successful completion. The needs to be met for the people to live a better life are increasingly broad. Not only have their material and cultural needs grown, their demands for democracy, rule of law, fairness and justice, security, and a better environment are increasing. Well, China's overall productive forces have significantly improved, and in many areas our production capacity leads the world. Our
是
problem
发展不平衡，
is that our development is unbalanced and
这已经
inadequate.
成为
This
满
has
足人
become
民日益增长的美好生活需要
the
的
main
主要
constraining
制约因素。
factor in meeting the people's increasing need for a better life.
必须认识到，
We must recognize
我国社会主要矛盾的
that
变
the
化
evolution of the principal contradiction facing Chinese society represents a historic
对
change
党和国家
that
工作
affects the whole landscape, that creates many new demands for the work of the party and the country.
我们要在继续推动发展的基础上，
Building a continued efforts to
着力
sustain
解决
development,
好发展
we must
不平衡
devote great energy to addressing development imbalances and inadequacies,
大力提升发展质
and
量，
push hard to improve the quality and effect of
更好满
development.
足人民
With this,
在
we will
经济
better place
政治、
to
文化、
meet the ever-growing economic,
社会
political, cultural,
生态
social,
等方面，
and ecological
日益
needs
增长的
of
需要。
our people,
更好推动人的
and to
全面
promote
发展、
well-rounded
社
human
会
development
全面进步。
and all-round social progress.
我们必须认识到，
We must recognize
我国社会主要矛盾的
that
变化
the evolution of the principal contradiction
没有改
facing
变我
Chinese
们对
society
我国社会主义
does
所
not
处
change our
历史
assessment
阶段的
of the
判断。
present stage of socialism in
我
China.
国仍处于，并将长
The
期处于
Basic dimension of the Chinese context that our country is still and will long remain in a primary stage of socialism has
我
not
国是
changed.
世界上
China's
最大
international
发展中国家的
status
国
as
际
the
地位
world's largest developing country has not changed.
全党要牢牢
The
把
whole
握
party must
社会主
be
义初级阶段
completely clear about this fundamental dimension of our
牢牢立
national
足
context
社会主
and
义初
must
级阶段
base our work on this most important reality that is the primary stage of socialism.
党的基本
We
路线
must remain
党
fully
和国家的
committed
生命线
to the party's basic line as the
人民的
source that keeps the
幸福线
party and the country going and that bring
领
happiness
导
to
和
the
团
people.
结全国
We
各族
must
人民
lead and unite the
以
Chinese
经济建
people
设
of
为中
all
心
ethnic groups in
坚持思
fulfilling
想基本
the
原则
central task of
坚持改革
economic
开放
development. We must
自力更
uphold
生
the four
艰苦
cardinal
创业
principles, continue to
为把
reform
我
and
国
opening
建
up,
设成
be
为富强
self-reliant,
文明和谐
hardworking and
美
enterprising,
丽
and
的
strive to build China
社
into a
会主义
great
现代化强国
modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, harmonious, and beautiful.
同志们，
Comrades,
中国特色社会主义进入
Chinese
新时代
socialism's entrance into a new era
在中华人
is
民共和
in the
国
history of the
发展史
development
上
of the People's Republic of China,
中华
and
民族
the history
发展
of the
史上
development of the Chinese
具有
nation,
重大意义
of
世界社会
in
主
the
义
history of the
发展史
development
上
of international socialism
人
and the
类社会发展
history
史
of the
上
development of human
也
society,
具有
it
重
is
大
of
意义
tremendous importance as well.
全党
Our entire
坚定信心
party should develop
奋发有力
unshakable confidence,
让
work
中国
hard
特色
and
社会
work
主义
well to see
展现
socialism
出
with Chinese
更加
characteristics
强大的
display
生命
even
力
stronger vitality. Secondly, the new era, the historic mission of the Communist Party of China.
100年前
100 years ago,
10月革命一声炮响
the salvos of the October Revolution brought Marxism-Leninism to China.
中国先进分子
In the scientific truth of Marxism and Leninism, Chinese progressives saw a solution to China's problems.
在近代以后
With the
中国社会的
advent
剧烈
of
运动
modern times, Chinese society became embroiled in intense upheavals.
和外来
This
侵略
was a
的激
time
烈
of
斗争
fierce struggle as the Chinese people resisted feudal rule and foreign aggression.
中国
It was in the
工人运
midst
动
of
的接
this
触过程中
in 1921 as Marxism-Leninism was integrated with the Chinese workers' movement that Communist Party of China was born. From that moment on, the Chinese people have had in the party a backbone for their pursuit of national independence and liberation, of a stronger and more prosperous country, and of their own happiness. And the mindset of the Chinese people has changed from passivity to taking the initiative. With a history of more than 5,000 years, our nation created a splendid civilization, made remarkable contributions to mankind, and became one of the world's great nations. But with the Opium War of 1840, China was plunged into the darkness of domestic turmoil and foreign aggression. Its people were ravaged by wars, saw their homeland torn, and lived in poverty and despair. With tenacity and heroism, countless dedicated patriots fought, pressed ahead against the odds, and tried every possible means to seek the nation's salvation. But despite their efforts, they were powerless to change the nature of society in old China and the plight of the Chinese people. National rejuvenation has been the greatest dream of the Chinese people since modern times began. At its founding, the Communist Party of China made realizing communism its highest ideal and its ultimate goal, and shouldered the historic mission of national rejuvenation. In pursuing this goal, the party has united the Chinese people and led them through arduous struggles to epic accomplishments. Our party was deeply aware that to achieve national rejuvenation, it was critical to topple the three mountains of imperialism, feudalism, and bureaucrat capitalism that were oppressing the Chinese people, and realize China's independence, the people's liberation, national reunification, and social stability. Our party united the people and led them in embarking on the right revolutionary path, using rural areas to encircle the cities and seizing state power with military force. We completed the new democratic revolution through 28 years of painful struggle, and in 1949 founded the People's Republic of China, thus marking China's great transition from a millennia-old feudal autocracy to a people's democracy. Our party was deeply aware that to achieve national rejuvenation, it was essential to establish an advanced social system that fits China's reality. It united the people and led them in completing socialist revolution, establishing socialism as China's basic system, and advancing socialist construction. This completed the broadest and most profound social transformation in the history of the Chinese nation. It created the fundamental political conditions and institutional foundation for achieving all development and progress in China today. Thus was made a great transition. The Chinese nation reversed its fate from the continuous decline of modern times to steady progress toward prosperity and strength. Our party was deeply aware that to achieve national rejuvenation, it was imperative to follow the tide of the times, respond to the wishes of the people, and have the courage to reform and open. And this awareness created a powerful force for advancing the cause of the party and the people. Our party united the people and led them in launching the great new revolution of reform and opening up. in removing all ideological and institutional barriers to our country and nation's development, and in embarking on the path of socialism with Chinese characteristics. Thus was China able to stride ahead to catch up with the times. Over the past 96 years, to accomplish the historic mission of national rejuvenation, whether in times of weakness or strength, whether in times of adversity or smooth sailing, our party has never forgotten its founding mission, nor wavered its pursuit. It has united the people and led them in conquering countless challenges, making enormous sacrifices, meeting setbacks squarely, and courageously righting wrongs. Thus, we have time and again overcome the seemingly insurmountable and created miracle upon miracle that has been seen in history. Comrades, today we are closer, more confident, and more capable than ever before of making the goal of national rejuvenation a reality. As the Chinese saying goes, the last leg of a journey just marks the halfway point. Achieving national rejuvenation will be no walk in the park. It will take more than drum beating and gong clanging to get there. Every one of us in the party must be prepared to work even harder toward this goal. Realizing our great dream demands a great struggle. It is in the movement of contradictions that a society advances. Where there is contradiction, there is struggle. If our party is to unite and lead the people to effectively respond to major challenges, withstand major risks, overcome major obstacles, and address major conflicts, it must undertake a great struggle with many new contemporary features. All thinking and behavior in the vein of pleasure-seeking, inaction, and sloth and problem avoidance are unacceptable. Every one of us in the party must do more to uphold party leadership and the Chinese socialist system, and resolutely oppose all statements and actions that undermine, distort, or negate them. We must do more to protect our people's interests and firmly oppose all moves that damage their interests or put distance between the party and the people. We must do more to devote our energies to the contemporary current of reform and innovation and resolvedly address deep-rooted problems. We must do more to safeguard China's sovereignty, security, and development interests, and staunchly oppose all attempts to split China or undermine its ethnic unity, social harmony, and stability. We must do more to guard against all kinds of risks and work determinedly to prevail over every political, economic, cultural, social, and natural difficulties and challenge. Every party member must firmly appreciate the long-term, complex, and onerous nature of this great struggle. We must be ready to fight, build our ability, and keep striving to secure new victories in this struggle. Realizing our great dream demands a great project. This project is the great new project of party building that is just getting into full swing. As history has shown and will continue to bear witness to, without the leadership of the Communist Party of China, national rejuvenation would be just a wishful thinking. To remain the vanguard of the times, the backbone of the nation, and a Marxist governing party, our party must always hold itself to the highest standards. Every party member must be more actively involved in enhancing party consciousness and demonstrate commitment to party principles. We must have the courage to face problems squarely, be braced for the pain, act to remove whatever undermines the party's purity and advanced nature, and rid ourselves of any virus that erodes the party's health. We must strengthen the party's ability to lead politically, to guide through theory, to organize the people, to inspire society, thus ensuring that the party's great vitality and strong ability are forever maintained. Realizing our great dream demands a great cause. Socialism with Chinese characteristics has been the focus of all of the party's theories and practice since reform and opening up began. It is the fundamental achievement of our party and our people made through countless hardships at enormous cost. The path of socialism with Chinese characteristics is the only path to socialist modernization and a better life for the people. The theory of socialism with Chinese characteristics is the right theory to guide the party and the people to realize national rejuvenation. The system of socialism with Chinese characteristics provides the fundamental institutional guarantee for progress and development in contemporary China. The culture of socialism with Chinese characteristics is a powerful source of strength that inspires all members of the party and the people of all ethnic groups in China. Our whole party must strengthen our confidence in the path, theory, system, and culture of socialism with Chinese characteristics. We must neither retrace our steps to rigidity and isolation of the past, nor take the wrong turn by changing our nature and abandoning our system. We must maintain our political orientation, do the good solid work that sees our country thrive, and continue to uphold socialism with Chinese characteristics. The great struggle, project, cause, and dream are closely connected, flow seamlessly into each other, and are mutually reinforcing. Among them, the great new project of party building plays the decisive role. All work to advance this project must go hand in hand with that geared toward the struggle, the cause, and the dream. We must see that, as history progresses and the world undergoes profound changes, the party remains always ahead of the times. That as history progresses and we respond to risks and tests at home and abroad, the party remains always the backbone of the nation. And that as history progresses and we continue to uphold and develop socialism with Chinese characteristics, the party remains always a powerful leadership core. Comrades, our mission is a call to action. Our mission steers the course to the future. We must live up to the trust the people have placed in us and prove ourselves worthy of history's choice. In the great endeavors of building socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era, let us get behind the strong leadership of the party and engage in a tenacious struggle. Let all of us, the sons and daughters of the Chinese nation, come together, keep going, and create a mighty force that enables us to realize the China dream. Thirdly, the thought of socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era and the basic policy. Since our 18th National Congress, changes both in and outside China and the progress made in all areas of China's endeavors have presented us with a profound question, the question of an era. Our answer must be a systematic combination of theory and practice, and must address what kind of socialism with Chinese characteristics the new era requires us to uphold and develop, and how we should go about doing it. This involves fundamental issues like the overarching objectives, tasks, plan, and strategy for upholding and developing socialism with Chinese characteristics, like the direction, model, driving force of development, strategic steps, external conditions, and political guarantees, and so on. As well as this, to uphold and develop socialism with Chinese characteristics, we should, based on new practice, undertake theoretical analysis and produce policy guidance on the economy, political affairs, rule of law, science, technology, culture, education, well-being of our people, ethnic and religious affairs, social development, ecological conservation, national security, defense, and the armed forces, the principle of one country, two systems, national reunification, the united front, foreign affairs, and party building. In answering this question, our party has been guided by Marxism, Leninism, Mao Zedong thought, Deng Xiaoping theory, the theory of three represents, and the scientific outlook on development. It has continued to free our minds, seek truth from facts, move with the times, and apply a realistic and pragmatic approach. In answering this question, our party has continued to uphold dialectical and historical materialism, has considered carefully the new conditions of the era and new requirements of practice, has adopted an entirely new perspective to deepen understanding of laws that underlie governance by the Communist Party, the development of socialism, and evolution of human society. It has worked hard to undertake theoretical explorations and has achieved major theoretical innovations, ultimately giving shape to thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. The thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era makes certain things clear. It makes clear that the overarching goal of upholding socialism with Chinese characteristics is to realize socialist modernization and national rejuvenation. And on the basis of finishing the building of moderately prosperous society in all respects, a two-step approach should be taken to build China into a great modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, harmonious, and beautiful by the middle of the century. It makes clear that the principal contradiction facing Chinese society in the new era is that between unbalanced and inadequate development and the people's ever-growing needs for a better life. We must therefore continue commitment to our people-centered philosophy of development and work to promote well-rounded human development and common prosperity for everyone.
It makes clear that the overall plan for building socialism on Chinese characteristics is the five-sphere integrated plan, and the overall strategy is a four-pronged comprehensive strategy. It highlights the importance of fostering strong confidence in a path, theory, system, and cultural socialism with Chinese characteristics. It makes clear that the overall goal of deepening reform in every field is to improve and develop the system of socialism with Chinese characteristics and modernize China's system and capacity of governance. It makes clear that the overall goal of a comprehensive advancing law-based governance to establish a system of socialism rule of law with Chinese characteristics and build a country of socialist rule of law. Makes clear that party's goal of building a strong military in the new era is to build the people's forces into world-class forces that obeys the party's command and can fight and win and maintain excellent conduct. Makes clear the major country's diplomacy with Chinese characteristics aims to foster a new type of international relations and build a community with shared future for mankind. It makes clear that the defining feature of socialism with Chinese characteristics is the leadership of the Communist Party of China. The greatest strength of the system of socialism with Chinese characteristics is the leadership of the Communist Party of China. A party is the highest force of political leadership. The thought set forth the general requirements for party building in a new era and underlines the importance of political work in party
新时
building.
代中国特色社会主义
The
思想
thought
是对
on
马克思
socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era builds on and further enriches Marxism-Leninism, Mao Zedong thoughts, Deng Xiaoping theory, the theory of 3%, and the scientific outlook on development. It represents the latest achievement in adapting Marxism to the Chinese context and encapsulated the practical experience and collective wisdom of our party and the people is an important component of the system and theories of socialism with Chinese characteristics and a guide to action for all members and all of Chinese people as we strive to achieve national rejuvenation. These thoughts must be adhered to and steadily developed
全
on
党
a
要深刻
long-term
领会
basis.
新时代
Everyone
中
in
国
a
特色
party
社会主义
should
思想
develop
精
a
神
good
实质
grasp of the essence and
内涵
rich implications of thoughts
在各
on
项
social
工
and
作中
Chinese
全面准
characteristics
确
for a new era and
贯彻
fully
落实
and faithfully apply in all of our work.
一
First,
坚持党对
ensuring
一切工作的
party
领导
leadership over all work.
党政军民学东南西北中
The party exercise overall leadership of all areas of endeavors in every part of the country. We must strengthen our consciousness of the need to maintain political integrity, thinking big picture term, follow leadership core, and keeping alignment. We must work harder to uphold the authority and centralized, unified leadership of the Central Committee, and closely follow the Central Committee in terms of our thinking, political orientation, and actions. We must improve the institutions and mechanism for upholding party leadership, remain committed to the underlying principle of the pursuing progress with ensuring stability and ensuring coordinated implementation of the five-sphere
大方向
integrated plan and the four-pronged
定政策
comprehensive strategy. We must strengthen the party's ability and resolve to chart our courses, craft overall plans, design policy, and promote reforms. And we must ensure the party always provide overall leadership and coordinates the effort of all involved.
人
2.
民是历史的创
Commit
造
to a
者
people-centered approach. The people are the creators of history and they are the fundamental force that determines our party and country's future. We must ensure the principal status of the people and adhere to the party's commitment to serving the public goods and exercising power in the interest of the people. We must observe the party's fundamental purpose of wholeheartedly serving the people and put into practice the party's mass line in all aspects of the governance. We must regard as our goal the people's aspiration to live a better life and rely on the people to move history forward.
三
3.
坚持
Continuing to comprehensive deepen reform.
只有社会主义才能救
Only with socialism can we
只有
save
改革
China.
开放
Only with reform and opening up can we develop China, develop socialism, and develop Marxism.
必须坚持和完
We
善
must
中国特
uphold
色
and
社
improve
会
the
主义制
system
度
of socialism and Chinese
不断推进国
characteristics
家治理体
and
系
continue
治
to
理体
modernize
现代
China's system and
坚
capacity
决
for
破除一
governance.
切
We must
不
have
合
the
时宜的
determination
思
to
想
get
观
rid
念
of all
和体制
outdated thinking and ideas in all institutional
突破
alignments,
利益固化的藩篱
and to break through the blockades of vested interest. We must draw on the achievements of other civilizations, develop a set of institutions that are well conceived, fully built, procedurally based, and efficiently functioning, and do full justice to the strengthening of China's socialist system. 4. Adopting a new vision for
发展
development.
是解决我国一切问
Development
题的基
is
本
the
关键
underpinning and key for solving all country problems. Our development
必
must
须
be
坚
sound
持
development.
坚定不移贯
We
彻
must
创新
pursue with
协调
firmness
绿色
for
开放
purpose the vision
共
of
享发展
an innovative, coordinated, green, and
必须
open
坚持和
development
完
that is
善
for everyone.
我国
We
社
must
会主义
uphold
基
and
本经济制度
improve
分配制
China's basic
毫无动
socialist
摇
economy
不
and
妨
socially
不
distribution system.
毫
There
无动摇
must be
不
no
予支持引导
irresolution
非
about
公共
working to consolidate and develop the public sector, and 3 must no resolution
市场
about
在资源
working
配
to
置中
encourage,
起决定性
support,
作
and
用
guide the development of the
更好发挥
non-public
政府
sector.
作用
We must see that
推
in
动新型工业
resource
化
allocation, the
信息化
market plays the
城
decisive
镇
role
化
and the government plays its role
农业
better.
现代
We
化
must see that new industrialization, IT application,
参与和
urbanization,
推
and
动
agricultural
经济全球
modernization
化进程
go hand in hand. We
发
must
展更高层
actively
次的开放
participate
型
in
经济
and promote economic
不断壮大我国
globalization,
经济实
develop
力
an open economy and higher standards, and continue to increase China's economic power
五坚
and
持人
commerce
民当
strength.
家作主
5. Seeing that people run the country.
坚持党的领导人民当家作主
Commitment to the
依法治
organic
国
unity of the party leadership, the
是
people running the
社会主义
country,
政
and
治发
law-based
展的
governance
必然要
is a natural element of socialist political
必须坚持
development.
中国特色社会主
We
义制度
must
发展道
keep to the path of socialist political development of Chinese characteristics, uphold and improve the system of People's Congress, the system party-led multi-party cooperation and political consultation, the system of regional ethnic autonomy, and the system of community-level self-governance, and consolidate and develop the broadest possible patriotic united front. We should develop socialist consultative democracy, improve our democratic institution, diversify our forms of democracy, and establish more democratic channels. We must see to that the principle of the people running a country is put into practice in China's political and social activities. 6. Ensuring every dimension of governance is law-based. Law-based governance is an essential requirement and important guarantee for socialism and Chinese characteristics. We must exercise party leadership at every point in the process and over every dimension of law-based governance, and fully committed to promoting socialist rule of law with Chinese characteristics. We must improve the Chinese socialist system of laws, at the heart of which the Constitution established a Chinese system of socialist rule of law, build a socialist country based on the rule of law, and develop Chinese socialist rule of law theory. We must pursue coordinated progress in law-based governance, law-based exercise of state power, and law-based government administration, and promote integrated development of rule of law of the country. And combine law-based governance of the country and rule-based governments over the party. We must further reform of the judicial system and strengthen rule of law awareness among all our people, while also enhancing their moral integrity. 7. Upholding core socialist values. Cultural confidence represents a fundamental and profound force that sustains the development of country and nation. We must uphold Marxism, firm up and further build the ideal of communism and shared ideal of socialism with Chinese characteristics, and nurture and practice core socialist values, while making continued and great efforts to maintain an initiative and ensure that we have our say in the realm of our ideology. We must promote the creative evolution and development of fine traditional Chinese culture, see our revolutionary culture remain alive and strong, and develop our advanced socialist culture. We should cherish our cultural roots, draw on other culture, and be forward-looking. We should do more to foster Chinese spirit, Chinese values, and Chinese strength, to provide a source of cultural and moral guidance for our people. 8. Ensuring and improving living standards through development. The well-being of the people is the fundamental goal of development. We must do more to improve the lives and address the concerns of the people, and use development to strengthen areas of weaknesses and promote social fairness and justice. We should make steady progress in ensuring people's access to child care, education, employment, medical services, elderly care, housing, and social assistance. We will intensify poverty alleviation, see that all people have greater sense of fulfillment as to contribute to and gain from development, and continue to promote well-rounded human development and common prosperity for everyone. We will continue the Peaceful China Initiative, strengthen and develop new forms of social governance, and ensure social harmony and stability. We must work hard to see our country enjoying peace and stability. Our people live and work in contentment. 9. Ensuring harmony between human and nature. Building an ecological civilization is vital to sustain the Chinese nation's development. We must realize that lucid water and lush mountains are invaluable assets and act on its understanding, implement our fundamental national policy of conserving resources and protecting the environment, and cherish the environment as we cherish our own lives. We will adopt a holistic approach to conserving our mountains, rivers, forests, farmland, lakes, and grasslands, implement a strictest possible system for environmental protection, and develop eco-friendly growth models and ways of life. We must pursue a model of sustainable development featuring increased production, higher living standard, and healthy ecosystem. We must continue to build the Beautiful China initiative and create good working and living environment for our people and play our part in ensuring global ecological security. 10. Pursuing a holistic approach to national security. We should ensure both development and security and be ever ready to protect against potential dangers in time of peace. This is the major principle underlying the party's governance. We must put national interest first, take protecting our people's security as our mission and safeguarding political security as fundamental task, and ensure both internal and external security, homeland and public security, traditional and non-traditional security, and China's own and common security. We will improve our systems and institutions, enhance capacity building for national security, and resolutely safeguard China's sovereignty, security, and development interests. 11. Upholding absolute party leadership over the people's forces. Building people's forces and obey the party's command can fight and win and maintain excellent conduct is strategically important to achieving the two centenary goals and national rejuvenation. To realize the party's goal of building a powerful military in a new era, we must fully implement the fundamental principle and system of the party leadership of the military and see that party strategy on strengthening military capacity for the new era guides to work and build national defense in the armed forces. We must continue to enhance the political loyalty of the armed forces, strengthen them through reforms and technology, and run them in accordance with the law. We must place greater focus on combat, encouraging innovation, build systems, increasing efficacy and efficiency, and further military-civilian integration. 12. Upholding the principle of one country, two systems, and promoting national reunification. Maintaining lasting prosperity and stability in Hong Kong and Macau and achieving China's full reunification are essential to realizing national rejuvenation. We must ensure both the central government's overall jurisdiction over Hong Kong and Macau's special administrative regions and a high degree of autonomy in these two regions. We should ensure that the principle of one country, two systems remain unchanged, is unwaveringly upheld, and in practice is not bent or distorted. We must uphold the One China principle and the 1992 consensus, promote the peaceful development of cross-strait relations, deepen economic cooperation and cultural exchanges between the two sides of the straits, and encourage fellow Chinese on both sides to oppose all separatist activities and work together to realize Chinese nation rejuvenation.
13th. Promoting the building of a community with a shared future for mankind. The dream of the Chinese people is closely connected with the dreams of the peoples of other countries. And the Chinese dream can be realized only in a peaceful international environment and under a stable international order. We must keep in mind both our internal and international imperatives, stay on the path of peaceful development, and continue to pursue a mutually beneficial strategy of opening up. We will uphold justice while pursuing shared interests, and will foster new thinking on common, comprehensive, cooperative, and sustainable security. We will pursue open, innovative, and inclusive development that benefits everyone, boost cross-cultural exchanges characterized by harmony within diversity, inclusiveness, and mutual learning, and cultivate ecosystems based on respect for nature and green development. China will continue its efforts to safeguard world peace, contribute to global development, and uphold international order. 14th, exercising full and rigorous governance over the party. To have the courage to carry out self-reform and conduct strict self-governance, this is the most distinctive part of our party's good character. We must uphold the party constitution as our fundamental rules. Give top priority to the political work of the party. Combine efforts on ideological work and institutional building, and strengthen party competence in all respects. We must focus on oversight over the key field, by which we mean leading officials, and see that the principle of 3 districts and 3 earnests are observed. We must uphold democratic centralism, ensure that inter-party political activities are carried out in earnest, impose strict party discipline, and strengthen internal oversight. We must develop a positive and healthy political culture in the party and improve the party's political ecosystem. Resolutely correct misconduct in all its forms, and show zero tolerance for corruption. We will continue to strengthen the party's ability to purify, improve, and reform itself, and forever maintain its close ties with the people. The above 14 points form the basic policy that underpins our endeavors to uphold and develop socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era. All our members must fully implement the party's basic theory, party line, and policy, so as to better steer the development of the party and people's cause. Just as there are no bounds to practice, there is no end to theoretical exploration. The world is changing with every second, every moment. And China, too, is changing with every second and every moment. We must ensure our theory evolves with the times. Deepen our appreciation of objective laws and advance our theoretical, practical, institutional, cultural, and other explorations and innovations. Comrades, the era is the mother of thought. Practice is the fount of theory. If we respond to the call of our times and have the courage to uphold truth and correct errors, the Marxism of 21st century China will, without a doubt, emanate more mighty, more compelling power of truth. Fourthly, securing a decisive victory in building a moderately prosperous society in all respects, and embarking on a journey to fully build a modern socialist China. After adopting the policy of reform and opening up, our party laid out 3 basic strategy goals for achieving socialist modernization in China. The first 2, ensuring that people's basic needs are met and that their lives are generally decent, have been accomplished ahead of time. Building on this, our party then developed the vision that by the time we, the party, celebrate our centenary, we will have developed our society into a moderately prosperous one with a stronger economy, greater democracy, more advanced science and education, thriving culture, greater social harmony, and a better quality of life of our people. After this, with another 30 years of work, and by the time we celebrate the centenary of the People's Republic of China, we will have basically achieved modernization and turned China into a modern socialist country. The period between now and 2020 will be decisive in finishing the building of a moderately prosperous society in all respects. We must follow the requirements on building this society set out at our 16th, 17th, and 18th National Congresses, act in response to the evolution of the principal contradiction in Chinese society, and promote coordinated economic, political, cultural, social, and ecological advancement. We must show firm resolve in implementing the strategy for invigorating China through science and education, the strategy on developing a quality workforce, innovation-driven development strategy, and the rural vitalization strategy. The coordinated regional development strategy, the sustainable development strategy, and the military-civilian integration strategy. We must focus on priorities, address inadequacies, and shore up points of weakness. In this regard, I want to stress that we must take tough steps to forestall and diffuse major risks, carry out targeted poverty alleviation, and prevent and control pollution, so that the moderately prosperous society we build earns the people's approval and can stand the test of time. The period between the 19th and the 20th National Congress is the period in which the time frames of the 2 centenary goals converge. In this period, not only must we finish building a moderately prosperous society in all respects and achieve the first centenary goal, we must also build on this achievement to embark on a new journey toward the second centenary goal of fully building a modern socialist country. Based on the comprehensive analysis of international and domestic environments and conditions for China's development, we have drawn up a 2-stage development plan for the period from 2020 to the middle of this century. In the first stage, from 2020 to 2035, we will build on the foundation created by the moderately prosperous society with a further 15 years of hard work to see that socialist modernization is basically realized by that time. By that time, China's economic and technological strength has increased significantly. China has become a global leader in innovation. The rights of the people to participate and to develop as equals are adequately protected. The rule of law for the country, the government, the society is basically in place. Institutions in all fields are further improved. The modernization of China's system and capacity for governance is basically achieved. Social etiquette and civility are significantly enhanced. China's cultural soft power has grown much stronger. Chinese culture has greater appeal. People are leading more comfortable lives. And the size of the middle-income group has grown considerably. Disparities in urban-rural development, in development between regions, and in living standards are significantly reduced. Equitable access to basic public services is basically ensured, and solid progress has been made toward prosperity for everyone. A modern social governance system has basically taken shape, and society is full of vitality, harmony, and order. There is a fundamental improvement in the environment, and the goal of building a beautiful China is basically attained. In the second stage, from 2035 to the middle of the 21st century, we will, building on having basically achieved modernization, work hard for a further 15 years and develop China into a great modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, harmonious, and beautiful. By the end of this stage, new heights are reached in every dimension of material, political, cultural, ethical, social, and ecological advancement. Modernization of China's system and capacity for governance is achieved. China has become a global leader in terms of composite national strength and international influence. Common prosperity for everyone is basically achieved. The Chinese people enjoy happier, safer, and healthier lives. The Chinese nation will become a proud and active member of the community of nations by that time. Comrades, this is our strategic vision for developing socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era. Finish building a moderately prosperous society in all respects, proceed to basically realize modernization, and then move on to turn China into a great modern socialist country. We must work with resolve and tenacity and write a brilliant chapter on our new journey to socialist modernization. Fifthly, applying a new vision of development and developing a modernized economy. To deliver on the two centenary goals, realize the Chinese dream of national rejuvenation, and steadily improve our people's lives, we must continue to pursue development as the party's top priority in governance. We must unleash and develop productive forces, continue reforms to develop socialist market economy, and promote sustained and sound economic growth. China's economy has been transitioning from a phase of rapid growth to a stage of high-quality development. This is a pivotal stage for transforming our growth model, improving our economic structure, and fostering new drivers of growth. It is imperative that we develop a modernized economy. This is both an urgent requirement for getting us smoothly through this critical transition and a strategic goal for China's development. We must put quality first and give priority to performance. We should pursue supply-side structural reform as the main task and work hard for better quality, higher efficiency, more robust drivers of economic growth through reform. We need to raise total factor productivity and accelerate the building of an industrial system that promotes coordinated development of the real economy with technological innovation, modern finance, and human resource. We must endeavor to develop an economy with more effective market mechanisms, dynamic micro-entities, and sound macro-regulation. This will steadily strengthen the innovation capacity and competitiveness of China's economy. First, further supply-side structural reform. In developing a modernized economy, we must focus on the real economy. We must give priority to improving the quality of the supply system and enhance our economy's strength in terms of quality. We will work faster to build China into a manufacturer of quality and develop advanced manufacturing, promote further integration of the Internet, big data, artificial intelligence with the real economy, and foster new growth areas and drivers of growth in medium high-end consumption, innovation-driven development, green and low-carbon economy, sharing economy, modern supply chains, and human capital services. We will support traditional industries in upgrading themselves and accelerate development of modern service industries to elevate them to international standards. We will move Chinese industries up to the medium-high end of the global value chain and foster a number of world-class advanced manufacturing clusters. We will strengthen infrastructure networks for water conservancy, railways, highways, waterways, aviation, pipelines, power grids, information, and logistics. We will continue efforts to cut overcapacity, reduce excess inventory, deleverage, lower costs, and strengthen areas of weakness, and work to achieve a dynamic balance between supply and demand by improving the allocation of available resources. We will inspire and protect entrepreneurship and encourage more entities to make innovation and start businesses. We will build an educated, skilled, and innovative workforce, foster respect for model workers, promote quality workmanship, and see that taking pride in labor becomes a social norm and seeking excellence is valued as a good work ethic. Second, making China a country of innovators. Innovation is the primary force driving development. It is the strategic underpinning for building a modernized economy. We should aim to reach frontier areas of science and technology, strengthen basic research, and make major breakthroughs in pioneering basic research and path-breaking and original innovations. We will strengthen basic research in applied sciences, launch major national science and technology projects, and prioritize innovation in key generic technologies, cutting-edge frontier technologies, modern engineering technologies, and disruptive technologies. These efforts will provide powerful support for building China's strength in science and technology, product quality, aerospace, cyberspace, and transportation, and for building a digital China and a smart society.
We will improve our national innovation system and boost our strategic, scientific, and technological strength. We will further reform of the management system for science and technology and develop a market-oriented system for technological innovation in which enterprises are the main players and synergy is created through the joint effort of enterprises, universities, and research institutes. We support innovation by small and medium-sized enterprises and encourage application advances in science and technology. We foster a culture of innovation and strengthen creation, protection, and application of intellectual property. We cultivate a large number of world-class scientific and technologies in strategic important fields, scientific and technological leaders, and young scientists and engineers, as well as high-performing innovation teams. Third, pursuing a rural vitalization strategy. Issues relating to agricultural rural areas and rural people are fundamental to China as they directly concern our country's stability and our people's well-being. Addressing these issues should have a central place on the work agenda of the party, and we must prioritize the development of agriculture in rural areas. To build rural areas with thriving businesses, pleasant living environment, social adequacy and civility, effective governance and prosperity, we need to put in place sound system, mechanism, policies for promoting integrated urban-rural development and speed up the modernization of agriculture and rural areas. We will consolidate and improve the basic rural operating system, advance reforms of the rural land system, improve the system for separating the ownership rights, contract rights, and management rights for contracted rural lands. Rural land contracting practice will remain stable and unchanged on a long-term basis, and current round of contract will be extended for another 30 years upon expiration. Will press ahead with reforms of the rural collective property rights system, safeguard the property rights and interests of rural people, and strengthen the collective economy. We must ensure China's food security so that we always have control of our own food supply. We will establish an industrial production and business operation system for modern agriculture and improve the system for supporting and protecting agriculture. We will develop appropriately scaled agricultural operation of various forms, cultivate new types of agribusiness, improve specialized agricultural services, encourage small household farmers to become involved in modern agriculture. We promote integrated development of the primary, secondary, and tertiary industry in rural areas, support and encourage employment and business startups there, and open up more channels to increase rural incomes. We will strengthen the basic services in rural communities and improve the governance model in rural areas based on a combination of self-governance, rule of law, and rural virtue. We will train professional rural service personnel who have great knowledge of agriculture, love our rural areas, and care about rural people. Fourth, implementing the coordinated regional development strategy. We will devote more energy to speeding up the development of old revolutionary base areas, areas with large ethnic minority population, border areas, and poor areas. We'll strengthen measures to reach a new stage in the large-scale development of the Western region, deepen reform to accelerate the revitalization of old industrial base in the northeast and other parts of China, help the central region rise by tapping into local strengths, and support the eastern region to taking the lead in pursuing optimal development through innovation. To this end, we need to put in place new effective mechanisms to ensure coordinated development of different regions. We create networks of cities and towns based in city clusters, enabling the coordinated development of cities of different sizes, small towns, and speed up work on guarantee permanent urban residency to people who move from rural areas to urban areas. Relieve Beijing of functional and essentials to its core as the capital, and use the effort to drive the coordinated development of Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region, and will develop forward-looking plans to adopt high standard for building the Shenhua New Area. Will facilitate the development of the Yangtze Economic Belt by promoting work-coordinated development, conservation, and avoid excessive development. Support will be given to resource-depleted areas in the economic transformation, will accelerate development in the border areas and ensure their stability and security, will pursue coordinated land and marine development, and step up efforts to build China into a strong maritime country. Fifth, accelerating effort to improve the socialist market economy. In our economic reforms, we must concentrate on improving the property rights system and ensuring the market-based allocation of factors of production so that property rights as an effective incentive, and we should ensure free flows of factors, flexible rises, fair and orderly competition, and business survival is determined by competition. We improve the systems for managing different types of state assets and reform the system that authorize the operation of state capital in the state-owned sector. We will step up improve the distribution, structural adjustment, and strategic reorganization. We work to see that state assets maintain and increase their value. We support state capital in becoming stronger, doing better and growing bigger, and take effective measures to prevent the loss of state assets. We'll further reform on state-owned enterprises, develop a mixed ownership economic entities, and turn Chinese enterprises into world-class globally competitive firms. We will introduce a negative list for market access nationwide, sort through and do away with regulations and practices that impede the development of a unified market and fair competition, support the growth of private business, and stimulate the vitality of various market entities. We'll deepen reforms in the business sector, break administrative monopolies, prelude the reform of market monopolies, speed up the reform of market-based pricing of factors of production, relaxing control over the market access in service sector, and improve market oversight mechanism. We develop new methods to improve macro regulation, give full play to the strategic guidance of national development plans, and improve mechanism for coordinated physical, monetary, industrial, regional, and other economic policies. We will improve systems and mechanisms for stimulating consumer spending and leverage the fundamental role of consumption in promoting economic growth. We will deepen reform of the investment and financing system and enable investment to play a crucial role in improving the supply structure. We will expedite the creation of a modern public finance system and establish the physical relationship between the central and the local governments built upon clearly defined powers and responsibilities, appropriate financial resource allocation, and great balance between regions. We'll put in place a comprehensive procedure-based transparent budget system that uses well-conceived standards and impose effective constraints. We'll deepen reform of the taxation system and improve the local tax system. We'll deepen the institutional reform of the financial sector, make it better to serve the real economy, increase the proportion of direct financing, and promote the healthy development of a multi-level capital market. We will improve the framework of regulations underpinned by monetary policy and macro-prudential policy, and see that the interest rates and exchange rates become more market-based. We will improve the financial regulatory system to forestall systematic financial risks. Sixth, making new grounds in pursuing opening up on all fronts. Openness brings progress, while self-seclusion leaves one behind. China will not close its doors to the world, will only become more and more open. We should pursue the Belt and Road Initiative as a priority and give equal emphasis to bring in and going global, following the principle of achieving shared growth through discussions and collaboration and increased openness and cooperation in building innovation capacity. With these efforts, we hope to make new grounds in opening China further through links running eastward and westward across land overseas. We'll expand foreign trade, develop new models and new forms of trade, and turn China into a trader of quality. We will adopt policies to promote high-standard liberalization and facilitation of trade investment. We will implement the system of pre-established national treatment plus the negative list across the board, significantly ease market access, further open the service sector, and protect the legitimate rights and interests of foreign investors. All business registered in China will be treated equally. We will improve the balance in opening our different regions and open the Western region wider. We grant more powers to pilot-free zones to conduct reform and explore the opening of free trade ports. We will develop new ways of making outbound investment, promotes international cooperation on production capacity, form globally oriented network of trade, investment, and financing, production and services, and build up our strengths for international economic cooperation and competition. Comrades, unlocking and developing the productive forces is the fundamental task of socialism. We must inspire creativity and vitality throughout society and strive to achieve better quality, more efficient, fairer, and more sustainable development. Six, improving the system of institutions through which people run the country and developing socialist democracy. China is a socialist country of people's democratic dictatorship under the leadership of the working class based on an alliance of workers and farmers. It is a country where all powers of the states belongs to the people. China's socialist democracy is the broadest, most genuine, and most effective democracy to safeguard the fundamental interests of the people. This very purpose of developing social democracy is to give full expression to the will of the people, protect their rights, their interests, sparkle their creativity, and provide systematic and institutional guarantees to ensure the people run the country. The path of socialist political development with Chinese characteristics is the logical outcome of the evolution of history, theory, and practice as the Chinese people have long engaged in struggles since its birth in modern times. It is the requisite for maintaining the very nature of the party and fulfilling its fundamental purpose. No two political systems are entirely the same. And a political system cannot be judged in abstraction without regard for its social and political context, its history and its cultural traditions. No one political system should be regarded as the only choice, and we should not just mechanically copy the political systems of other countries. We must uphold long-term and steadily strengthen China's socialist democracy, make active and prudent efforts to advance the reform of the political system, and improve the institution, standards, and procedures of socialist democracy. We should ensure that people participate in accordance with law and in various ways and forms in the management of state, economic, cultural, and social affairs, and consolidate the enhanced political stability, unity, and vitality. First, upholding the unity of party leadership, the people running the country, and law-based governance. Party leadership is the fundamental guarantee for ensuring that people run the country and governance in China is law-based. That the people run the country is an essential feature of socialist democracy. And law-based governance is the basic way for the party to lead the people in governing the country. These three elements are integral components of socialist democracy. In China's political life, our party exercises leadership. Strengthening the centralized unified leadership of the party on the one hand, and on the other, supporting the People's Congress Government's Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference or courts and procuratoriates in performing their function and play their role in accordance with the law and their charters form a unified pair. We improve the ways the party exercises leadership and governance to ensure that it leads the people in effective governing the country. We'll expand the people's orderly political participation to see that our accordance with the law, they engage in democratic election, consultation, decision-making, management, and oversight. We should uphold the unity, sanctity, and authority of China's legal system and strengthen legal protection for human rights to ensure the people enjoy extensive rights and freedom as prescribed by the law. We should both consolidate government and improve institution of democracy at a primary level to ensure the people's right to be informed, to participate, to be heard, and to oversee. We improve mechanism for law-based decision-making and put in place mechanism for the exercise of power that ensure sound decision-making, resolute execution, and effective oversight. Officials at different levels must deepen their understanding of democracy and democratic to their conducts, willingly accept public oversight, and perform as they should in their role as public servants.
Second, strengthening institutional guarantees to ensure the people run the country. We must uphold long-term and steadily improve the system of people's congresses, a political system fundamental to the party's leadership, the people's running of the country, and law-based governance. And we should support and ensure the people's exercise of state power through people's congresses. We should see to it that people's congresses and their standing committees play the leading role in lawmaking and improve the organizational and working systems of people's congresses to support and ensure the exercise of their statutory powers of enacting laws, conducting oversight, making decisions, and appointing and removing officials. We should give better play to the role of deputies to people's congresses and enable people's congresses at all levels and their standing committees to fully perform their functions as stipulated in the Constitution and the law, and to truly represent the people and maintain those ties. We should improve the setup of special committees of people's congresses and a composition of their standing committees and special committees. Third, giving play to the important role of socialist consultative democracy. The essence of the people's democracy is that the people get to discuss their own affairs. Consultative democracy is an important way of effecting party leadership and a model and strength unique to China's socialist democracy. We will advance extensive, multi-level and institutionalized development of consultative democracy and adopt a coordinated approach to promoting consultations by political parties, people's congresses, government departments, CPPCC committees, people's organizations, communities, and social organizations. We will strengthen the institutions of consultative democracy and develop complete procedures and practices to enable the people's broad, continuous, and intensive participation in day-to-day political activities. The CPPCC, as a distinctively Chinese political institution, is a major channel for socialist consultative democracy, and its committees are specialist consultative bodies. The CPPCC committees should focus on the party and the country's key tasks. With the themes of unity and democracy, they should exercise consultative democracy throughout the whole process of political consultation, democratic oversight, and participation in deliberation and administration. They shall build consensus and promote unity. They shall strengthen democratic oversight, focusing on the implementation of major principles, policies, decisions, and plans of the party and the state. They should better represent the different social sectors and strengthen the competence of their members. Fourth, advancing law-based governance. Advancing law-based governance in all fields is a profound revolution in China's governance. We must promote the rule of law and work to ensure sound lawmaking, strict law enforcement, impartial administration of justice, and observance of law by everyone. A central leading group for advancing law-based governance in all areas will be set up to exercise unified leadership over the initiative to build rule of law. We will strengthen oversight to ensure compliance with the Constitution, advance constitutionality review, and safeguard the authority of the Constitution. We will strengthen lawmaking in a well-conceived and a democratic way and in accordance with the law so that good laws are made to promote development and ensure good governance. And we will promote law-based governance administration and see that law is enforced in a strict, procedure-based, impartial, non-abusive way. We will carry out reform of judicial system and ensure judicial accountability in all respects so that people can see in every case that justice is served. We will redouble efforts to raise public awareness of the law, develop a socialist culture of rule of law, and increase public awareness of the principle underlying rule of law, that the Constitution and the law are above everything else and everyone is equal. Every party organization and every party member must take the lead in respecting, learning, observing, and applying the law. No organization or individual has the power to overstep the Constitution or the law, and no one in a position of power is allowed in any way to override the law with his own orders, place his authority above the law, or violate the law. Fifth, deepening reform of party and government institutions and the system of government administration. We will adopt a comprehensive approach to set up the party and the government institutions and ensure that powers are designated properly and functions and duties are defined clearly. We will use various types of staffing resources in a coordinated way, develop a sound system of administration, and improve the organic law for state institutions. The government needs to transform its functions, further streamline administration and delegate powers, develop new ways of regulation, and strengthen credibility and capacity, building itself to a service-oriented government able to satisfy the needs of the people. More decision-making power shall be given to governments at and below the provincial level. Ways should be explored to merge party and government bodies with similar functions at the provincial, prefectural, county levels, or for them to work together as one office while keeping separate identities. We shall deepen reform of public institutions to see that they focus on serving public interests and relieve their government functions. 6. Consolidating and developing the patriotic united front. The united front is an important way to ensure the success of the party's cause, and we must maintain commitment to it. We must uphold the banner of patriotism and socialism, strive to achieve great unity and solidarity, balance commonality and diversity, and expand common ground and the convergence of interests. In handling its relationships with other Chinese political parties, the Communist Party of China is guided by the principles of long-term coexistence, mutual oversight, sincerity, sharing the rough times and the smooth times, and it supports these parties in performing their duties in accordance with the requirements of socialist system. We will heighten public awareness of ethnic unity and progress, and create a strong sense of community for the Chinese nation. We will encourage more exchanges and interactions among different ethnic groups, helping them remain closely united like the seeds of a pomegranate that stick together and work jointly for common prosperity and development. We will fully implement the party's basic policy on religious affairs, uphold the principle that religions in China must be Chinese in orientation, and provide active guidance to religions so that they can adapt themselves to socialist society. We will encourage intellectuals who are not party members and people belonging to new social groups to play the important roles they have in building socialism with Chinese characteristics. We should form a new type of cordial, clean relationship between government and business, promote healthy growth of non-public sector of the economy, and encourage those working in this sector to achieve success. We will maintain extensive contacts with overseas Chinese nationals, returned Chinese and their relatives, and unite them so that they can join our endeavors to revitalize the nation. Comrades, the political system of socialism with Chinese characteristics is a great creation of the Communist Party of China and the Chinese people. We have every confidence that we can give full play to the strength and the distinctive features of China's socialist democracy and make China's due contribution to the political advancement of mankind with our wisdom. Part 7. Building stronger cultural confidence and helping socialist culture to flourish. Culture is a country and nation's soul. Our country will thrive only if our culture thrives, and our nation will be strong only if our culture is strong. Without full confidence in culture, without a rich and prosperous culture, the Chinese nation will not be able to rejuvenate itself. We must develop a socialist culture with Chinese characteristics, inspire the cultural creativity of our whole nation, and develop a great socialist culture in China. Socialist culture with Chinese characteristics is derived from China's fine traditional culture, which was born of the Chinese civilization and nurtured over more than 5,000 years. It has grown out of the revolutionary and advanced socialist culture that developed over the course of the Chinese people's revolution, construction, and reform. And it is rooted in the great practice of socialism with Chinese characteristics. To develop socialist culture with Chinese characteristics means to develop a socialist culture for our nation, a culture that is sound, people-oriented, that embraces modernization, the world, and the future, and that both promotes socialist material well-being and raises socialist cultural ethical standards. In developing this culture, we must follow the guidance of Marxism, base our efforts on Chinese culture, and take into consideration the realities of conditions of present era. We must ensure that this culture serves the people and serves socialism, and follow the principle of letting 100 flowers bloom and 100 schools of thought contend, and encourage creative transformation so as to add new luster to Chinese culture. Firstly, holding firmly the leading position in ideological work. Ideological determines the direction a culture should take and the path it should follow as it develops. We must continue to adapt Marxism to China's conditions, keep it up to date, and enhance its popular appeal. We will develop socialist ideology that has the ability to unite and the power to inspire the people to embrace shared ideals, convictions, values, and moral standards. We will better arm ourselves with theory and increase the public appeal of the thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. We will work harder to study and develop Marxist theory, work faster to develop philosophy and social sciences with Chinese characteristics, and develop new types of think tanks with distinctive Chinese features. We will give priority to improving means of communication and to creating new ones. We will enhance the penetration, guidance, influence, and credibility of the media. We will provide better online content and put in place a system for integrated internet management to ensure a clean cyberspace. We will implement the system of responsibility for ideological work and further consolidate our positions and improve management in this field. And we will distinguish between matters of political principles, understanding, thinking, academic viewpoints, and oppose and resist various erroneous views with a clear stand. Second,
培育和践行
cultivating and observing core socialist values.
社会主义
Core
核心价值观
socialist
是当
values
代中国精神
represent
的
the
基本体
contemporary
现
Chinese spirit and are a crystallization of the values shared by all Chinese
要以
people.
培养担
We will
当
focus on fostering a
民族
new
复兴大业
generation
的时代
capable of
新人
shouldering the
为
mission
着
of
眼
national
点
rejuvenation.
强化
We will offer
教育
them better
引导
guidance, expose
实践
them
养
to
成
practice,
制
and
度保
provide
障
institutional
发挥
guarantees.
社会主义核心价
We
值观
will draw
对
on
国民
core
教育
socialist values
精神
to
文明
guide
建设
education,
精神
efforts
文化
to
产
raise
品
cultural
创造
ethical standards, and the
创作
creation,
生
production,
产
and
传播的
distribution of
引领
cultural
作
and
用
intellectual products,
把社会
and
主
see
义核
that
心
all
价值
areas of
观
social
融入
development are
社会
imbued
发
with
展
these
各
values
方
and
面
that they become part of
转
people's
化为人民的
thinking and
情感认
behavior.
同和行为习惯，坚持
To this end,
全民行
we
动，
will encourage
干部代表
extensive public involvement,
家庭
making
做
our
起，
officials take the
从娃
lead
娃抓
and
起。
starting with families and children.
深入挖掘中华
We
优
will
秀
draw
传
on
统文
China's
化
fine
蕴含的思
traditional
想观
culture,
念
keep alive
人文精
and
神
develop its vision,
规范
concepts,
结合
values,
时代
moral
要求
norms, and
继
do
承
so
创
in a
新
way that responds to
中
the
华
call
文
of
化
our
展现
era.
出
With
永
this,
久
we
魅
will
力
see
和
that
时代
Chinese
风
culture maintains its appeal and evolves with the times.
三
Thirdly,
加强思想
raising
道德建设
intellectual and moral standards.
人民有信仰，
When a people
国家
have
有力量，
ideals, their country
民族
will
有
have
希望。
strength, and their nation will have a bright future.
要提高人
We will
民思
help
想
our
觉
people
悟，
raise their political
道德
awareness
水准
and moral standards,
文明素养，
foster their appreciation of fine
提高
culture,
全社会
and
文明
enhance
程度。
social etiquette and civility.
广泛开展理想信念教育
We，will undertake
深化中国特
extensive
色社
public
会主
awareness
义
activities
和
to
中
help
国
the
梦
people
宣
develop
传教
firm
育，
ideals and conviction,
弘
build
扬
their
民
awareness
族
of
精
socialism,
神
the Chinese
和时代
characteristics, and the
精神
Chinese dream,
加
foster
强爱
Chinese
国主义
ethos
集
and
体
readiness to
社
respond
会
to the
主义
call of
教
our
育，
times, strengthen
引
guidance
导
role
人
of
们
patriotism,
树立正
collectivism,
确
and
的
socialism,
历史
and see
观
that the people
民
develop
族
an
观
accurate understanding of
国家
history,
观
ethnicity,
文化观
country, and culture.
深入实施公民道德
We
建设
will
工程，
launch a
推进
civic
公民
morality
道德
campaign to raise
职业
public
道德
ethical standard and
公
enhance
社
work
会公
ethics,
德
family
职业道
virtues,
德
and personal
家庭美
integrity.
德、个人品德建设，激
We
励人
will
们向
encourage
上
our
向
people
善，
to strive for
孝老
excellence
爱
and to
亲
develop stronger
忠
virtues,
于祖
respect their
国
elderly, love
忠于人
families, and be loyal to the country and the
加
people.
强和改进思想
We
政治
will
工作，
improve
深化
and
群
strengthen
众
our
性，
ideological
精神
and
文明
political
创
work
建，
and launch initiatives to raise the
弘
public
扬科
cultural
学精
ethnical
神，
standards.
普及
We
科学
promote
知
the
识，
spirit of science and
开
make
展研究
scientific
研习，
knowledge widely
弘扬时
attainable.
代新
We
风
work to see the back of our outdated social mores and
抵制
to
腐朽落后
promote
文
good
化
and
侵蚀，
up-to-date practice and trends, and we will resist the
推进诚信
corrosive
建设和
influence
志
of
愿服务制
backward
度化，
and
强化
decadent
社会责
culture.
任意识、
We
规
will
则意
promote
识，
credibility building,
奉献意识。
institutionalized volunteer services, and heighten people's sense of social responsibility, awareness of
四
rules, and sense of dedication.
繁荣发展
Fourth,
社会主义文艺。
seeing socialist literature and art thrive.
社会主义文艺是人民的，
Socialist literature
必
and
须
art
坚
are
持
for the
以人
people.
民为中心的创作导向，
Writers and artists should take a
在深入
people-centered
生活、扎
approach
实人民、
and draw
扎根人
inspiration
民中，
from everyday
进
life
行无愧于时代的
and the experiences of people to produce work that do justice to our
繁荣
times.
文艺
We
创作、
encourage them to create fine
坚持
works
思
that
想
are
精神
thought-provoking
艺术精湛
and of a high
制
artistic
作精
standard
良相
that
统一，
reflect real life and
加
extol
强
our
现实题
party,
材
our
创作，
country, our people, and
不
our
断推
heroes.
出
Will
讴歌党、
foster
讴歌祖国、
a
讴歌人民、
democracy
讴歌英雄的
in
精品力作，发扬学术
academic
民主、艺
research
术民主。
and
提
artistic
升文艺
pursuit
原创力，推动文艺创新，
and encourage originality
倡
and
导讲品味
experimentation、
讲格调、
with
讲责任、
new approaches
砥砺
in
抵
the
制
creation of
低俗
literature
庸
and
俗
art.
媚俗，
We encourage the
加强
cultivation
文艺
of
队伍
fine
建
taste,
设，
style, and sense of
造就一大
responsibility, and
批
reject
德艺
vulgarity
双馨、
and quiche
名
in
家大
literacy
师，
and artistic
培养一
creation.
大批
Will
高
strengthen
水
the
平
professional standard of
创作人
artists
才
and writers, see the emergence of a large number of eminent figures who have more integrity
推
and
动
outstanding
文化
artistic
事业和
appeals
文
and
化产业
creators
发
of
展，
inspiring work.
满足人民
Fifth,
过上美
promoting
好
the
生活的
development
新
of
期
cultural
待，
programs and industries.
必须
To
提
meet the
供
people's
丰
new
富的
aspirations for
精
a
神
better
食
life, we must provide them with rich intellectual nourishment. We need to deepen structural reform of the cultural sector, improve the cultural management system, and accelerate the establishment of system and mechanism that put social benefit first while pursuing economic returns. We will improve the public cultural service system, carry out public interest cultural programs, and launch more popular cultural activities. We will strengthen protection and utilization of cultural relics and better preserve and carry forward our cultural heritage. We will improve modern system of cultural industries and markets, explore new mechanisms for cultural production and operation, improve economic policy on the development of the cultural sector, and develop new forms of business in the sector. We will carry out extensive fitness for all programs, speed up efforts to build China into a country strong on sports, and make smooth preparation for the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympic Games and Paralympic Games. We will strengthen the people-to-people and cultural exchanges with other countries, giving prominence to Chinese culture while also drawing on other countries. We will improve the capacity of engaging in international communication so as to tell Chinese story well, present a true multidimensional and panoramic view of China, and enhance our country's cultural self-power. Comrades, since its founding, the Communist Party of China has actively guided and promoted China's advanced culture while keeping China's fine traditional culture alive and strong. Today, we Chinese communists and Chinese people should and can shoulder our new cultural mission, make cultural creations through practice, and promote cultural advancement along with the progress of history. Part 8. Growing better and ensuring and improving people's well-being and strengthening and developing new approaches to social governance. Everyone in a party must keep firmly in mind that the nature of a political party and of a government is determined by those whom they serve. To lead the people to a better life is our party's abiding goal. We must put the people's interest above all else. See that the gains, reform, and development benefit all of our people in a fair way, and strive to achieve shared prosperity for everyone. As we work to ensure and improve people's well-being, we must focus on the most pressing, most immediate issues that concern the people the most. We will do everything in our capacity and tackle issue by issue, year in and year out. We will see that everyone performs their duties and shares their benefits. We will see basic needs are met, prioritize key areas, improve institutions, and guide public expectations. We will improve the public service system, ensure people's basic quality of life, and keep up with the people's ever-growing need for a better life. We will continue to promote social fairness and justice, develop effective social governance, and maintain public order. With this, we should see that our peoples always have a strong sense of fulfillment, happiness, and security. First, giving priority to developing education. Strengthening education is fundamental to our pursuit of national rejuvenation. We must give priority to education, speed up its modernization, and develop education that people are satisfied with. We should fully implement the party's educational policy,
发展素质教育，
foster virtue through education, enhance our students' well-rounded development,
培养
promote
德智体美
fairness
全
in
面发展
education, and nurture new
社会建
generation
设
of capable young people who have a good and all-round moral,
推
intellectual,
动城
physical,
乡义务
and
教育一
ethical
体化发展，
ground, and are well prepared to join the
高度重
socialist
视农
cause.
村义务教
We
育，
promote the coordinated
办
development
好
of a compulsory
学前教
education
育
in
特殊
urban
教
and
育
rural areas
网络教
while
育
giving particular attention
普及
to rural areas.
高中
We'll
阶段教
improve
育，
preschool education,
努力让
special
每
needs
个孩
education,
子
and online education, make
都能
senior and
享
secondary
公
education
平而
universally
又质量
available,
的
and
教育，
strive to see that each and every child has fair
完
access
善
to
职
good
业教育和
education.
培训体
We
系，
will improve the
深化
system of
产教融
vocational
合，
education
校
and
企
training, and promote integral
加快一流大学和
work
优秀学科
between
建设，
industry and
实
education
现高等
cooperation
教育
between enterprises
内
and
涵式发展，
colleges. Will move faster to build Chinese
健全
universities
学生资
into
助制度，
world-class universities
使
and
绝大
develop
多数
world-class
城乡新
disciplines
增
as
劳
we
动
work to
力
bring out the
接
full
受
potential
高
of
中
higher
阶段教育，
education.
更多
We'll
接受
improve the
高等
system
教
of
育，
financial aid to
知识和
students
规
and
范
work to
社
see
会
that the
力量
vast
兴办
majority of
教
the
育，
new members of the urban and rural areas force
加强师
have
德
received
师
senior
风
and
建设，
secondary education
培
and
养
more and
高
more
素
of them
质
receive
教
higher
师队伍，
education. We
倡
support
导
the
全社会
well-regulated development of private
尊师
schools.
重
We will
教，
strengthen the professional ethics and competence of
办
teachers
好
and encourage
继续
public
教育，
respect of educators and public
加快
support
建
for
设
education.
学
We
习
improve
社会，
continuing education,
大力
step
提
up
高
efforts
国
to
民素
build
质。
a learning society and promote the well-rounded development of all our people.
二、提高就业质量
Second,
和
improving
人民收入
the
水平。
quality of employment and raising
就业
incomes.
是最大的民生，
Employment
要
is
坚持就
pivotal
业
to
优先
people's
战略和
well-being.
积极就
We
业
must
政
give
策，
high
实现
priorities
更
to
高质量和
employment
更充
and
分的就
pursue
业，
a proactive employment policy,
大规模开展
striving to achieve
职业
fuller
技能培训，
employment and create better
注重
quality
解决
jobs.
结构性
We'll
就
launch
业问题，
vocational skill training and
努力
programs
创
on
业
base
带动
scale,
就
give
业，
particular attention to tackling structural
提供
employment,
全方位公共就业
and
服务，
create more jobs
促
by
进高校
encouraging
毕业
business
生的
startups.
青年群体，
We
农
will
民工多渠道就
provide
业创业，
extensive public employment services to open up more channels for college graduates and other young
人才
people
社
as
会
well
性
as
流动的
migrant
体
rural
制
workers
机制
find
的
jobs and start their own
使
businesses.
人人
We
都
must
有
remove
通过新
institutional
进劳动
barriers
实
that
现
block the
自身
social
发展
mobility
机
of
会，
labor and talent and ensure that every one of our
完
people
善政
has the
府、
chance to
工
pursue
会、
career through
企
hard
业
work.
共
We
同
will
参与的
improve
协商协
mechanism
调
for
机
joint
制，
discussions and
构建
mediation
和谐劳
involving
动关系，
government, trade, unions, and
坚持安保
employers
分
in
配
effort
原
to
则，
ensure
完
harmonious
善
labor
按要素
relations.
分配的
We
体
continue to follow the principle of
促进收入
distribution
分配
according
更
to
合
one's
理、
work while improving our
更有序，
institution and mechanism for distribution
鼓
based on
励
factors
勤
of
劳守法
productions
致富，
so as to make income distribution
扩大
fairer and
中
more
等收入
orderly.
群体，
We will encourage people to
增加
make their
低
money
收
through
入
hard
收
work
入，
and legal means.
调
We
节过
expand
高
the
收入，
size of middle
取缔
income
非
group,
法，
increase income people who
坚
live
持
on
在
low
经济增
incomes
长的
and
同
adjust
时，实
excessive
现居民
incomes
收
and
入
prohibit
同步
illicit
增长。
incomes. We work
在
to
劳
see
动
that
生
individual
产率
incomes
高的同
grow
时，
in
实
step
现
with the
劳
economic
动报
development
酬
and pay rises in
高，
tandem with the increase of labor
拓
productivity.
宽居民
We
劳动收入
expand
和
the
财产
channels for
性，
people to make
收入渠
work-based
道，
earnings and
履
property
行好政府
income.
再分
We
配调
will
节职
see
能，
that the government plays the
加快
function
推进
of
基本
adjusting
公共服务均本化，
redistribution
缩
move
小
faster
收入分配差
to
距。
ensure equitable access to basic public services and narrow gaps in incomes.
三、
Third,
加强社会保障体系建设，
strengthening the social security system.
按照兜底线、织密网、
We will act
建
on a
机制的要
policy
求，
requirement to help
全面
those
建
most
成
in
覆盖
need to
全
build
民
a tightly woven
城乡
safety
统
net
一
and to
权
build the
责清
necessary
晰
institutions
保
to
障
work
适
to
度
develop a
可持续的
sustainable
多层
multi-tier
次
social
社会保
security
障体
system
系，
that covers the entire population in both
全面实
urban
施全民
and
参
rural
保计划，
areas. We clearly define
完
rights and
善
responsibility
城镇
and
职
support
工
that
基
hits the
本
right
养老
level.
保险
We'll work to see that everyone
和
has
城
access
镇
to social
居民
security.
基
We
本养
improve
老
the
保
basic
险
pension
制度，
scheme for
尽
urban
快实现
employees and
养
for
老
rural
保
and
险
non-working
全国
urban residents and quickly bring pension scheme
完
under
善
national
统一的
unified management.
城乡居民基本
We
医疗保
will
险制度，
improve the unified system for
大病
basic
保险制度，
medical insurance and serious
完善
disease
失业、
insurance
工
for
伤
rural
保
and
险制度，
non-working urban residents and improve the unemployment insurance and work-related injury insurance. We will establish a unified national platform for social security public services. We will promote the coordinated development of the social assistance system for urban and rural residents and improve the subsistence allowances system. We must adhere to the fundamental national policy of gender equality and protect the legitimate right and interest of women and minors. We improve our systems for social assistance, social welfare, charity, and entitled group benefits and services. We will improve the system for supporting and caring for children, women, and elderly left behind in rural areas. We will develop the programs for people with disabilities and work to provide better rehabilitation services for them. We must not forget that housing is for living, not for speculation. With this in mind, we will move faster to put in place a housing system that ensures supply through multiple resources, provide housing support through multiple channels, and encourage both housing purchasing and renting. This will make us a better place to meet the housing need of all of our people. Fourth, winning the battle against poverty. Seeing that the poor people and the poor areas were entering the moderately prosperous society together with the rest of the country is the solemn promise made by our party. We should mobilize the energies of our whole party, the whole country, and the whole society, and continue to implement targeted poverty reduction and alleviation measures. We will operate on the basis of the working mechanism whereby the central government makes over our plans, provincial level government takes over our responsibility, and city and county governments ensure implementation. And we will strengthen the system for making heads of party committees and government at each level assume the overall responsibility for poverty alleviation. We will continue to advance poverty reduction, draw on the joint efforts of government, society, and the markets. We will pay particular attention to helping people increase confidence in their own capability to lift themselves out of poverty and see that they can access education they need to do so. We strengthen the collaboration on poverty alleviation between the eastern and western regions, and we will provide focused assistance to areas of extreme poverty. We must ensure that by the year 2020, the rural residents living below the current poverty line will have been out of poverty, and poverty is eliminated in all poor counties and regions. Poverty alleviation should reach those who truly need it and deliver genuine outcomes. Fifth, carrying out the Healthy China Initiative. A healthy population is a key mark of prosperous nation and strong country. We will improve the national health policy and ensure the delivery of comprehensive life cycle health services for our people. We will deepen reform of the medical and healthcare system, establish distinctive Chinese systems for providing basic health care, medical insurance, and quality and efficient healthcare services, and develop a sound, modern hospital management system. We improve the community-level healthcare services and strengthen the rank of GPs. We will put an end to the practice of hospital funding their operations with profits from overpriced drugs, and improve the system for medicine supply. We will, with emphasis on prevention, carry out extensive patriotic health campaigns, promote healthy and positive lifestyles, and prevent and control major diseases. We will initiate a food safety strategy to ensure that people have peace of mind about what they're putting on their plates. We will support both traditional Chinese medicine and Western medicine, and ensure that preservation and development of traditional Chinese medicine will support development of a private, hospital, and health-related industries.
We will work to ensure that our childbirth policy meshes with related economic and social policies, and carry out research on population strategy. As we respond proactively to population aging, we will adopt policies and foster a social environment in which senior citizens are respected, cared for, and live happily in their later years. We will integrate elderly care and medical services and accelerate the development of old age programs. Sixth, establishing a social governance model based on collaboration, participation, and common interests. We will step up institution building in social governance and improve the law-based social governance model under which party committees exercise leadership, government assumes responsibility, and non-governmental actors provide assistance, and the public get involved. We will strengthen public participation, the rule of law in social governance, and make such governance smarter and more specialized. We will improve mechanisms for preventing and diffusing social tensions and properly handle problems among the people. We will promote safe development and raise public awareness that life matters most and safety comes first. We will improve the public safety system and responsibility system for workplace safety. We will take resolute measures to prevent serious accidents and build up our capacity for disaster prevention, mitigation, and relief. We will accelerate development of crime prevention and control, combat and punish, according to the law, all legal, illegal, and criminal activities such as pornography, gambling, drug abuse, gun violence, kidnapping, and fraud, and protect people's personal rights, property rights, and right to dignity. We will improve the system of public psychological services and cultivate self-esteem, self-confidence, rationality, composure, and optimism among our people. We will strengthen a system of community governance, shift the focus of social governance to the community level, leverage the role of social organizations, and see that government's governance efforts on the one hand and society's self-regulation and residents' self-governance on the other reinforce each other. Seventh, effectively safeguarding national security. National security is the cornerstone of peace and stability of our country, and safeguarding it is in the fundamental interests of Chinese people of all ethnic groups. We will improve our national security strategy and policy, guarantee China's political security, and take coordinated steps to ensure security in all areas. We will improve our national security system, strengthen rule of law measures to enhance national security, and enhance our capacity for forestalling and fending off security risks. We must rigorously protect against and take resolute measures to combat all acts of infiltration, subversion, and sabotage, as well as violence, terrorist activities, ethnic separatist activities, and religious extremist activities. We will raise awareness of national security among all party members and all the people, and create a strong synergy of the whole society to safeguard national security. Comrades, leading the fundamental interests of all our people is the ultimate yardstick for judging all the work of our party. The issues of concern to the people, be they big or small, should be handled with utmost care and attention. We must start with addressing issues of public concern, start with delivering the outcomes that satisfy public needs, and work without rest to lead our people in pursuing a better life. Part 9. Speeding up reform of the system for developing an ecological civilization and building a beautiful China. Man and nature form a community of life. We, as human beings, must respect nature, follow its ways, and protect it. Only by observing the laws of nature can mankind avoid costly blunders in its exploitation. Any harm we inflict on nature will eventually return to haunt us. This is a reality we have to face. The modernization that we pursue is one characterized by harmonious coexistence between man and nature. In addition to creating more material and cultural wealth to meet people's ever-increasing needs for a better life, we need also to provide more quality ecological goods to meet people's ever-growing demands for a beautiful environment. We should, acting on the principles of prioritizing resource conservation and environmental protection and letting nature restore itself, develop spatial layouts, industrial structures, and ways of work and life that help conserve resources and protect the environment. With this, we can restore the serenity, harmony, and beauty of nature. Firstly, promoting green development. We will step up efforts to establish a legal and policy framework that promotes green production and consumption, and promote a sound economic structure that facilitates green, low-carbon, and circular development. We will create a market-based system for green technology innovation, develop green finance, and spur the development of energy-saving and environmental protection industries, as well as clean production and clean energy industries. We will promote a revolution in energy production and consumption, and build an energy sector that is clean, low-carbon, safe, and efficient. We will encourage conservation across the board and promote recycling, take action to get everyone conserving water, cut consumption of energy and materials, and establish linkages between the circular use of resources and materials in industrial production and in everyday life. We encourage simple, moderate, green, and low-carbon ways of life and oppose extravagance and excessive consumption. We will launch initiatives to make party and government offices do better when it comes to conservation and develop eco-friendly families, schools, communities, and transport services. Secondly, solving prominent environmental problems. We will get everyone involved in improving the environment and address environmental issues at the root. We will continue our campaign to prevent and control air pollution to make our skies blue again. We will speed up prevention and control of water pollution and take measures to improve river basins and offshore areas. We will strengthen the control of soil pollution and the restoration of polluted soil, intensify the prevention of agricultural pollution from non-point sources, and take measures to improve rural living environments. We will improve the treatment of solid waste and garbage and reinforce stricter pollutants discharge standards and see to it that polluters are held accountable. And we will improve the credibility system and assessment systems, and we will establish an environmental governance system in which government takes the lead, enterprises assume main responsibility, and social organizations and the public also participate. And we will get actively involved in global environmental governance and fulfill our commitments on emission reduction. Thirdly, intensifying the protection of ecosystems. We will carry out major projects to protect and restore key ecosystems, improve the system of shields for ecological security, and develop ecological corridors and biodiversity protection networks so as to strengthen the quality and stability of our ecosystems. We will complete work on drawing red lines for protecting the ecosystems, designating permanent basic cropland and delineating boundaries for urban development. We will promote afforestation, take comprehensive measures to control desertification, stony deserts, and soil erosion, strengthen wetland conservation and restoration, and better prevent and control geological disasters. We will improve the system for protecting natural forests and turn more marginal farmland to forests and grasslands. We will rigorously protect farmland and expand trials in crop rotation and keep land fallow. We will improve systems for regeneration of croplands, grasslands, forests, rivers, and lakes, and set up diversified market mechanisms for ecological compensation. Fourthly, reforming the environmental regulation system. We will strengthen overall planning, organization, and leadership for building an ecological civilization. We will establish regulatory agencies to manage state-owned natural resource assets and monitor natural ecosystems and improve environmental management systems. These agencies will, in a unified way, perform the duties of the owner of public-owned natural resource assets, the duties of regulating the use of all territorial space and protecting and restoring ecosystems, and the duties of monitoring the discharge of all pollutants in urban and rural areas and conducting administrative law enforcement. We will establish systems for developing and protecting territorial space, improve supporting policies on functional zones, and develop a nature reserve system composed mainly of national parks. We will take tough steps to stop and punish all activities that damage the environment. Comrades, what we are doing today to build an ecological civilization will benefit generations to come. We should have a strong commitment to socialist ecological civilization and work to develop a new model of modernization with humans developing in harmony with nature. We must do our generation's share to protect the environment. Part 10. Staying committed to the Chinese path of building strong armed forces and fully advancing the modernization of national defense and military. We have reached a new historical starting point in strengthening national defense and the armed forces. Confronted with profound changes in our national security environment and responding to the demands of the day for a strong country with a strong military, we must fully implement the party's thinking on strengthening the military for the new era and adapt military strategy to new conditions. We must build a powerful and modernized army, Navy, Air Force, Rocket Force, and Strategic Support Force. Develop strong and efficient joint operations commanding institutions for commands and create a modern combat system with distinctive Chinese characteristics. Our armed forces must be up to shouldering the missions and tasks of the new era. We will adapt to the trend of a new global military revolution and to the national security needs. We will upgrade our military capacities and see that by the year 2020, mechanization is basically achieved. IT application has come a long way, and strategic capabilities have seen a big improvement. In step with our country's modernization process, we will modernize our military across the board in terms of theory, organizational structure, service personnel, and weaponry. We will make it our mission to see that by 2035, the modernization of our national defense and our forces is basically completed, and that by the mid-21st century, our people's armed forces have been fully transformed into world-class forces. We will strengthen party building in the military. We will launch activities with the theme of passing on the traditions of revolution, stepping up to the task of making the military strong. We will move forward with the development of the military honor system. We will train the revolutionary officers and soldiers of a new era with faith, ability, courage, and integrity, and see that our forces forever preserve their nature, purpose, and character.
We will continue to deepen national defense and military reform and further the reform of major policy system, including career officer system and system for posting civilian personnel in the military. We'll push ahead with transformation of military management, improve and develop our distinctive Chinese socialist military institutions. We must keep it firm on our hands that technology is the core combat capability, encouraging innovation in major technologies and conduct innovation independently. We'll strengthen the system for training military personnel and make our people's forces more innovative. We will govern the military with strict disciplines in every respect, push for a fundamental transformation in the way military is run. A military is built to fight. Our military must regard combat capability as the criteria to meet in all its work and focus on how to win when it is called on. We should take solid steps to ensure military preparedness for all strategic directions and make progress in combat readiness in both traditional and new security fields. We will develop new combat forces and support forces, conduct military training under combat conditions, strengthen the application of military strength, speed up development of intelligent military, and improve combat capabilities for joint operations based on network information system and ability to fight under multi-dimensional conditions. This will enable us to effectively shape our military posture, manage crises, and deter and win wars. We should ensure the efforts to make our country prosperous and the efforts to make our military strong go hand in hand. We will strengthen unified leadership, top-level design, reforms, and innovation. We speed up implementation of major projects, deepen reform in defense-related science, technology, and industry, achieve greater military-civilian integration, and build integrated national strategies and strategic capabilities. We will improve our national defense mobilization system, build a strong, well-structured, modern border defense, coastal defense, and air defense. We'll establish an administration for veterans, and will protect the legitimate right and interests of military personnel and their families. We'll make military service an occupation that enjoys public respect. We carry out further reforms and build a modernized armed police force. Comrades, our military is the people's military, and our national defense the responsibility of every one of us. We must raise public awareness about the importance of national defense and strengthen unity between the government and the military, between the people and the military. Let us work together to create a mighty force for realizing the Chinese dream. Part 11. Upholding one country, two systems, and moving towards national reunification. Since Hong Kong and Macau's return to the motherland, the practice of one country, two systems in both regions have been resounding success. The policy of one country, two systems have proved to be the best solution to the question of Hong Kong and Macau, left by history, and the best institution guarantee for the long-term prosperity and stability for Hong Kong and Macau after the return. To maintain long-term prosperity and stability in Hong Kong and Macau, it is imperative to fully and faithfully implement the policy of one country, two systems, the people of Hong Kong governing Hong Kong, the people of Macau governing Macau, and a high degree of autonomy for both regions. It is imperative to act in strict compliance with China's constitutions and basic laws of the two special administrative regions, and to improve the system mechanism to enforce the basic laws. We will continue to support the government and chief executives of both regions in pursuing the following endeavors: exercising law-based governance, uniting and leading the people of all sectors of an active, concerned effort to promote development and harmony, ensuring and empowering people's well-being, taking well-ordered steps to advance democracy, maintaining law and order, to fulfilling the constitutional responsibility of safeguarding China's sovereignty, security, and development interests. The development of Hong Kong and Macau is closely tied up with that of the mainland. We will continue to support Hong Kong and Macau in integrating their own development into the overall development of the country. We give priority to the development of the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area, cooperation between Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau, and regional cooperation in the Pampa River Delta, thus fully advancing mutually beneficial cooperation between mainland and two regions. We will formulate and improve policies and measures to make it more convenient for people from Hong Kong and Macau to develop careers on the mainland. We will remain committed to the policy of the Hong Kong people to govern Hong Kong, Macau people to govern Macau, with patriots playing the principal role. We will develop and strengthen the ranks of patriots who love both our country and their regions, and foster greater patriotism and a stronger sense of national identities among the people in Hong Kong and Macau. With this, our compatriots in Hong Kong and Macau will share both the history responsibility of national rejuvenation and the pride of a strong and prosperous China. Resolving the Taiwan question to realize China's complete reunification is the shared aspiration of all Chinese people, and is in the fundamental interest of the Chinese nation. We must uphold the principle of peaceful reunification and one country, two systems, work for the peaceful development of cross-race relations, and advance the progress towards the peaceful reunification of China. The One China principle is the political foundation of the cross-strait relations. The 1992 consensus embodies the One China principle and defines the fundamental nature of cross-strait relations. It thus holds the key to the peaceful development of relations between the two sides of the Taiwan Straits, recognize the historical fact of the 1992 consensus and that the two sides both belong to one China, and our two sides can conduct dialogues to address through discussions the concerns of people of both
台湾任
sides.
何政党和团体
And no political party or group in
大陆交往
Taiwan will have
也不会存
any
在障碍。
difficulty conducting exchanges with the mainland.
两岸同胞是命运与共的骨肉兄弟，
Blood is thicker than
是
water.
血浓于水的一家人。
People on both sides of the
我们
Taiwan
秉持
Strait
两
are
岸一
brothers
家
and
亲理
sisters.
念，尊重
We share the
现
bond
有
of
的社会
kinship,
制度和台湾
guided
同
by
胞
the
生
conviction
活
that we
方
are
式。
the same family, respect the
愿意
current
率
social
先同
system
台湾同胞
and way of life in
分享
Taiwan, and ready to
大陆发
share the
展
development opportunities on the mainland
将扩大
with
两
our
岸
Taiwan
经济文化
compatriots
交流合
first.
作，
We will
实现互利
expand
互惠，
cross-strait economic cultural
逐步
exchanges
台湾
and
同胞
cooperations
大陆
for
学习、创
mutual
业、
benefits.
就业、
We
生
will
活，
ensure
提
that
供
over
与大陆
time,
同胞
people
同
will
等的待
enjoy
遇。
people from Taiwan will enjoy the
增进
same
台湾
treatment as
同胞
local
福祉。
people when they pursue their studies,
我们
start
将推
business,
动
seek jobs,
两岸
and
同
live on
胞
the
共
mainland,
同弘扬
thus improving the
中华文
well-being
化，
of Taiwan
促进
compatriots.
心灵
We
契
will
合。
encourage people from both sides to work together to promote Chinese culture and forge closer bonds between them.
我们坚决维护国家主权和领土完整，
We stand firm in
绝不容忍
safeguarding China's sovereignty and territorial
国家
integrity
分裂的
and
历
will
史悲
never
剧重演。
allow the historical tragedy of national division to repeat itself.
一切分裂祖国的
Any
活动
separatist activity
都必将遭到全体中国人
is
的坚
certain
决
to
反对
meet。with the resolute opposition of the Chinese people.
我们有坚定的意志，充
We
分的
have the
信心，
resolve, the
足
confidence,
够的能力，
and the ability
挫败任何
to
形式的
defeat
台独分裂图谋。
separatist attempts for Taiwan independence in any form.
我们绝不允许任何
We
人、
will never allow
任何
anyone,
组织、
any organization,
任何政
or
党
any political party
在任何时候
at any time
以任何形式
or in any
把
form
任何一块中国领
to
土
separate
从
any
中国
part of
分裂
Chinese
出去。
territory from China.
同志们，
Comrades,
实现中华民族伟大复兴，
realizing the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation is a dream shared by all of us as Chinese.
只要
We
包
remain
括
firm in our
港澳
conviction
台
that
同胞在内的全体中华儿女，
as long as all the sons and
顺应历史大
daughters of
势，
Chinese nations,
共担民族
including our
大义，
compatriots in Hong Kong,
把
Macau,
民
and
族命
Taiwan,
运牢
follow
牢
the
掌
tide
握
of
在自己
history,
手
work
中，
together for the greater
就
nation
一定能
interest,
控
and
制
keep our nation destiny
中华
firm
民
in
族
our own
伟大
hands,
复
we
兴
will
的
without doubt
美
be
好
able
未
to
来。
achieve the greater rejuvenation of the Chinese nation.
12，
Part 12.
坚持和平发展道路，推动
Following
构
a
建
path
人
of
类
peaceful
命运。
development and working to build a community with a shared future of
中国共产
mankind.
党是为中国人民谋幸福的政
The
党，
CPC strives
也
for
是为
both
人类
well-being of the
进步
Chinese
事业
people
而奋斗
and
的政党。
human progress.
中国共产党始终把为人类做出新的、
Make
更大的贡
new
献
and
作为自
greater
己的使命。
contribution for mankind as our party's
中国将
abiding
高
mission.
举和平发展、
China will continue to
合作、
hold high the banner of
共赢的
peace,
旗帜，
development, cooperation, and
恪
mutual
守
benefit,
维护
and
世界和
uphold its
平、
fundamental
促进共同发展的外交政策
foreign
宗旨，
policy goal of
坚定不移
preserving
在
world
和平
peace
共
and
处向
strengthening
原则
friendship
基
and
础上
cooperation
发展同各国的友
with
好
other
合作，
countries on the basic of the
推动建
five
设
principles of
相互
peaceful
尊重、
coexistence,
公平
and
正
forging
义、
a new
合作共
form
赢的新型
of
国际关系。
international relations featuring mutual respect, fairness,
世
justice,
界
and
正处
win-win
于大
cooperation.
发展、大变革、大
The
调
world is
整
undergoing
时期
major development,
和
transformation,
平与
and
发展仍
adjustment,
然是
but
时代
peace and development remain the call
世
of
界
our
多极
day.
化、经济全球
The
化、
trend of global
社会信
multipolarity,
息化、
economic globalization, idea application, and cultural diversity are
全球治
surging
理体
forward.
系和国际秩序变革加速推进，
Changes in the global governance
各
system
国
and
相互联
international
系和依
orders are
存日
speeding
益
up.
加深，
Countries are becoming increasingly interconnected and interdependent. Relative international forces have become more and more balanced, and peace and development remain irreversible trends. And yet, as the world, we face growing uncertainties and destabilization factors. Global economic growth lacks energy, the gap between rich and poor continues to widen, hotspots issues arise often in some regions, and unconventional security threats like terrorism, cyber insecurity, major infectious disease, and climate change continue to spread. As human beings, we have many common challenges to face. Our world is full of both hope and challenges. We should not give up our dreams because reality around us is too complicated. We should not stop pursuing our ideals because they seem out of reach. No country can alone address the many challenges facing mankind, and no country can afford to retreat into self-isolation. We call on the people of all nations to work together to build a community with a shared future of mankind, to build an open, inclusive, clean, and beautiful world that enjoys a lasting peace, universal security, and common prosperity. We should respect each other, discuss issues as equals, resolutely reject the Cold War mentality and power politics, and takes a new approach to develop a state-to-state relations with communication, not confrontation, partnership, not alliance. We should commit in settling disputes through dialogues and resolving differences through discussion, coordinate responses to traditional and non-traditional threats, and oppose terrorism of all its forms. We should stick together through thick and thin, promote trade and investment liberalization and facilitation, and make economic globalization more open, inclusive, and balanced so that its benefits are shared by all. We should respect the diversity of civilizations and handle relations among civilizations. Let us replace estrangement with exchange, clashes with mutual learning, and superiority with coexistence. We should be good friends to the environment, cooperate to tackle climate change, and protect our planet for the sake of human survival. China remains firm in pursuing an independent foreign policy of peace. We respect the right of people of all countries to choose their own development paths. We endeavor to uphold international fairness and justice and oppose acts that impose one's wills on others or interfere in the international affairs of others, as well as the practical of strong bullying the weak. China will never pursue development at the expense of others' interests, but nor will China ever give up its legitimate rights and interests. No one should expect China to swallow anything that undermines its interest. China pursues a national defense policy that is nature defensive. China's development does not pose a threat to any other country. No matter what stage of development it reaches, China will never seek hegemony or engage in expansion.
China has actively developed global partnerships and expanded the convergence of interests with the other countries. China will promote coordination and cooperation with other major countries and work to build a framework for major country relations featuring overall stability and balanced development. China will deepen relations with its neighbors in accordance with the principle of amity, sincerity, and mutual benefit, and inclusiveness, and the policy of forging friendship and partnership with its neighbors. China will, guided by the principle of justice while pursuing shared interests and the principle of sincerity, honesty, affinity, and good faith, work to strengthen solidarity and cooperation with the other developing nations. And we will strengthen exchanges with the political parties and organizations of the other countries and encourage people's congresses, CPPCC, committees, the military, local governments to engage in exchanges. China adheres to the national policy of opening up and pursues the development with its doors open. China will actively promote international cooperation through Belt and Road Initiative and achieve policy infrastructure, trade, financial, people-to-people connectivity, and thus build a new platform for cooperation to create new drivers of shared development. development. China will increase assistance to the other developing nations, in particular the least developed countries, and reduce the North-South development gap. China will support multilateral trade regimes and facilitate the establishment of FTAs and build an open world economy. China follows the principle of achieving shared growth through discussion and collaboration. China stands for democracy in international relations and the equality of all countries, big or small, strong or weak, rich or poor. China supports the UN in playing an active role in international affairs and supports the other developing countries to increase their representation and voice. China will continue to play its part as a major country, take an active part in reforming and developing the global governance system. Comrades, the future of the world rests in the hands of people of all countries. The future of mankind hinges on the choices they make. We, the Chinese, are ready to work with the people of all other countries to build a community with a shared future for mankind and create a bright tomorrow for all of us. Part 13. Exercising strict governance over the party and improving the party's ability to govern and lead. As socialism with Chinese characteristics has entered a new era, our party must get a new look and make new accomplishments. As the saying goes, it takes a good blacksmith to make good steel. For the party to unite the people and lead them in carrying out our great struggle, advancing our great cause, and realizing our great dream, we must unwaveringly uphold and improve party leadership and unwaveringly make the party still stronger. Ensuring party self-governance is exercised fully and strictly is a journey to which there is no end. The future of a political party or a government is determined by whether it enjoys public support. We must guard against and correct with resolve the practices the people oppose and resent. The whole party must be soberly aware that the governance environment our party faces is complex, and that so too are the factors undermining the party's advanced nature and purity. Prominent problems of impurity in thinking, organization, and conduct in the party have not been resolved to the root. We must fully recognize the long-term and complex nature of the tests confronting the party as they relate to governance, reform, and opening up the market economy and the external environment. We must also fully recognize the intensity and severity of the dangers of lack of drive, incompetence, disengagement from the people, inaction, and corruption. So, we must focus on solving problems, maintain strategic resolve, and ensure strict party self-governance. The general requirements for party building for the new era are as follows: uphold and strengthen overall party leadership, and ensure that the party exercises effective self-supervision and practices strict self-governance in every respect. Strengthen the party's long-term governance capacity and its advanced nature and purity as the main thrust. Take enhancing the party's political building as the overarching principle. Take holding dear the party's ideals, convictions, and purpose as the underpin. And take harnessing the whole party's enthusiasm, initiative, and creativity as the focus of efforts. Make all-round efforts to see the party's political building enhanced, its theory strengthened, its organization consolidated, its conduct improved, and its discipline enforced, with institution building incorporated into every aspect of party building.
建设质量，
We must step up our efforts
把党建设
to
成为
combat
始终走在时
corruption
代前
and
列、
continue to improve the
人
efficacy
民
of
中
party
心
building and build the
勇
party
于做革
into
命，
a vibrant Marxist governing party that is always at the forefront of the times, enjoys the wholehearted support of people, has the courage to reform itself, and able to withstand all tests.
一，
Firstly,
把党的
putting
政治建
political
设
party
摆在
building
首位
first.
旗帜鲜明讲
Taking
政
a
治
clear
是我们
political
党
stand
作为
is the
马克思主义
fundamental
政党的根
requirement
本
our party must meet as a Marxist party.
党的政治建设
Political party
是党的
building
根
is
本
of
性建设
fundamental importance to the
决定党
party
的
as it
建设
determines the
方向和效
direction
果
and efficacy of party building.
保证全党服从中
The
央，
primary task of political party
坚持
building
党
is to
的
ensure that the whole
和
party
集中
obeys
领
the
导
Central Committee and upholds its
党的政治
authority
建
and
设
centralized unified leadership. All party
全党要
members
坚
must
定
closely
执行
follow the party's
党的
political
政治路
line,
线
strictly observe its political
严格遵守
discipline
政治纪律
and
和政治规
rules,
矩，在政治
and
立场、
closely
政治
ally
方向、
themselves with the
政治
Central
原则、
Committee in
政治
terms
道
of
路上
political stance,
同党
direction,
中央保持
principle,
高度
and
一致。
path.
要尊崇党章，
Every member of the party must
严格
hold
执
the
行
party constitution
新
in
形
great
下
reverence,
党内政治
act
生
in
活
strict
中
accordance with the code of conduct for
增强
inter-party
党内
political
政
life
治生活
under
的
new
政治性、
circumstances, and make inter-party
时代
activities
性、
more politically
原
oriented,
则性、
up-to-date,
战斗性
principled, and effective.
自觉抵
We
制
must guard against
商品交
rules
换
of
的
business
对党
dealings
内生活的
eroding
侵蚀，
inter-party conduct,
营造
and
和平
foster
气
a
正的
healthy political
良好政治
atmosphere of integrity within the party.
完善和落实
We must
民主集中
improve
制
and
的
implement the systems
各项
of
制度，
democratic centralism
坚持
and
民主
practice
的
both
基础上
democracy-based centralism
和集
and
中指导下的民主
centralism-guided
相结合
democracy.
既充分
This
发扬
means
民主，
we should both give
又
full
善
play
于
to
集
democracy
中
and practice centralism on this basis.
弘扬
We
忠
must
诚
foster
老实
values like loyalty,
道正
honesty, impartiality,
实
a
事
realistic approach, and
清
integrity,
正廉洁等价值观，坚决防止和
guard
反对
against
个
and
人主义
oppose self-centered
分散
behavior,
自由
centralism,
主义、
behavior in
本位主义
disregard of the rules,
好
a
人
silo mentality, unprincipled nice
坚决
guyism,
防止和反
and
对
sectarianism,
中外主义
factionism,
圈子文化、
and
码头文化
patronage.
坚决反对搞
We
两
must
面派、
resolutely oppose double
做两
dealing
面
and duplicity.
全党
All
特别
party
是高级
members,
干部
especially
要
high-ranking
加强
officials,
党性
must
锻炼
strengthen their party
不断提
consciousness,
高政治学
political
和政治
awareness,
能力
and political ability.
把对党忠
We
诚、
must regard
为党
it
分忧、
as our
为党
fundamental
尽职、
political responsibility to be loyal to the party, share the party's concerns,
永葆
fulfill
共
our
产党
obligations to the
正
party,
本色
and work for the people's well-being, forever preserve character.
二、
Second,
新时代
arming
中
the
国特
whole
色社
party
会主义
with the
思
thought
想
on socialism
武装
with
全党
Chinese characteristics for a new era.
思想建设是党的
Theory
基础
is
性建设
fundamental to party building.
革命理想
Our
高于天
revolutionary ideals soar beyond
共
the
产主
skies.
义远大
The
理
noble
想
ideal of communism
中
and
特
the
色
shared
社会主义
ideal of
共同理
socialism
想
with Chinese characteristics
是中国
are
共
our
产党的
source
精
of
神支
strength
柱，
and political soul as Chinese communists.
也是保
They
持党
also
的团
form
结
the
统一的
theoretical
思想基
foundation
础
of。party solidarity and unity.
要把坚定
Our top
理想
priority in
信
building
念
the party
作为
through
党的
theory is to stay true
思
to
想
our
建设的
ideals
首要任
and
务
convictions.
教育
We
党
should
全
make all
党
party members keep firmly in
牢
mind
记党
the
的宗旨，
party's purpose,
挺起共
have
产党人的
unwavering
精神脊梁，
convictions as
解
communists,
决好世界
resolve the
观、
fundamental
人生
issue
观、
of the world
价值
will,
观，
outlook
这个
on
总开
life,
关问
and
题
values we should embrace,
自觉做
and
共产
maintain
主义
deep
远大理
belief
想和
in
中
and
国特色
faithfully
社会主义
practice
共同理想
communism
的
and socialism
坚
with
定信仰
Chinese
者
characteristics.
忠实实践者。
We will foster a Marxist-style learning and make it regular practice and an institutionalized requirement for all party members to gain a good command of the party constitution, party regulations, and major policy addresses to meet party standards. We must launch a campaign on the theme of staying true to our founding mission to enable all party members, especially officials at and above county and director level, to arm themselves with the party's new theory and become more purposeful in working tirelessly to accomplish our mission. Thirdly, training a contingent of competent and professional officials. Party officials are an essential pillar of strength for the cause of our party and country. We must adhere to the principle of the party supervising officials, select officials on the basis of both integrity and ability, with priority given to integrity and on the basis of merit regardless of background, and ensure that those who are dedicated, impartial, and upright should be appointed. We must implement in earnest the criteria for evaluating good officials. In selecting officials, we must adopt the right approach with emphasis on political performance. We will promote and put in important positions those party officials who do well according to the following criteria. They maintain political integrity, think in terms of big picture, follow the leadership core and keep in alignment with the central party leadership, and have confidence in the path, theory, system, culture of socialism. They uphold the authority of central committee and faithfully follow the party's theories and principles. And they are loyal to the party, have moral integrity, and demonstrate a keen sense of responsibility. We will take seriously the development of specialized expertise and professionalism and enhance the official's ability to meet requirements of developing socialism. We will identify promising young officials and get them well prepared for future jobs. We will focus on their practical training in local communities, in work on the front line, and in areas where conditions are harsh, and work to produce a constant stream of outstanding young officials who have passed the test of practice. We will ensure coordinated training and selection of female officials, officials from ethnic minorities, and non-party officials. We will ensure that retired officials are well taken care of. We will be both strict and caring and place equal emphasis on providing incentives and imposing constraints. We will improve the performance assessment system for officials, institute incentive mechanisms and mechanisms to allow for errors, and take a clear stand in supporting officials who are willing to assume responsibilities, who take a down-to-earth approach, and who do not seek personal gain. Party organizations at every level should care about officials working at the primary level and solve the problems for them. People with talent are a strategic resource for China as it endeavors to achieve national rejuvenation and stay ahead in international competition. We must follow the principle of the party exercising leadership over personnel, assemble the best minds across the land, and draw fully on their expertise to make China a talent-strong country. We will pursue more proactive, open, and effective policy on training competent professionals. We shall value people with talent, identify talent, and have the foresight to employ them, be earnest to keep them, and welcome them into our ranks. This will enable us to attract bright people from both within and outside the party, from both within and outside China. In pursuing the great endeavor of the party and the people, we encourage people's talent to work in remote and poor areas, border areas, with mainly ethnic minority populations and old revolutionary-based areas, as well as in the front lines and communities. We will foster an environment in which everyone wants, strives, and is able to excel themselves and can do full justice to their talents. We aim to see that in every field, the creativity is given great expression. Fourthly, strengthening primary-level party organizations. Primary-level party organizations do the groundwork to ensure the party's lines, principles, policies, decisions, and plans are implemented. We will work to ensure that primary level party organizations in enterprises, villages, party and government departments, school, research institutes, sub-districts, communities, and social organizations play a key role in communicating the party's propositions and carrying out the party's decisions, overseeing community-level social governance, uniting and mobilizing people, promoting reform and development. In doing so, we will focus on improving the organizational capacity of primary-level party organizations and give priority to enhancing their political functions. We must directly guide, manage, oversee the members, and organize, communicate with, unite, and serve them. They should encourage the members to play an exemplary role.
We must practice a system of holding party branch general meetings, meeting of party branches committees, party group meetings, and party lectures. We develop new ways of setting up primary level party organizations for them to carry out their activities, strengthen the training of their heads, and expand their reach. We must work harder to address the problem that some primary level organizations are weak, ineffective, and marginalized. We expand inter-party democracy at the primary level, make party affairs more transparent, ensure channels are open for party members to participate in party affairs, oversees party organizations officials, and submit opinions and suggestions to the party organizations at the next level. We will do more to recruit new party members from among industry workers, young people working in agriculture, well-educated group, and people working in non-public economic entities and social organizations. We will give more incentives, solicitude, and assistance to party members. We will make guidance and management of party members better targeted and more effective, and handle party members that don't meet the mark in a prudent and orderly way. Fifth, working ceaselessly to improve party conduct and enforce party discipline. Our party comes from the people and has roots among the people, and is dedicated to serving the people. Once the party becomes disengaged from the people, it will lose its vitality. In improving party conduct, we must focus on maintaining the party's close bond with the people, keeping them firmly in mind, develop a closer affinity with them, and keep working to foster stronger public support for the party's governance. We must earnestly address all issues the people are strongly concerned about and resolutely correct any behaviors that undermines the people's interests. Our party officials should lead by example in consolidating and building on the advances made in implementing the Central Party leadership's 8-point decisions on improving parties and government's conduct. We should continue to address the practice of formalities for formality's sake, bureaucratism, hedonism, and extravagance, and oppose mindset and act of privilege seeking. We'll focus on strengthening enforcement of political and organization discipline and use this to promote stricter observance of discipline on upholding integrity, on interacting with the people, and regarding work and life. We'll continue to carry out criticism and self-criticism in keeping with the principle of learning from mistakes to prevent recurrence in treating the illness to save the patients. We'll conduct 4 forms of oversights over discipline compliance, identifying problems early and correct them while they are nonsense. Party organizations with the power to supervise officials were given corresponding power to take disciplinary actions as called for, and accountability for overseeing the discipline compliance with the tightened up on. We will raise party members' awareness of discipline and strengthen discipline enforcement, and demand that party members and officials hold disciplines in awe and respect, do not cross the line. 6. Securing a sweeping victory in the fight against corruption. The people resent corruption most, and corruption is the greatest threat our party faces. We must have resolve and tenacity to preserve in a never-ending fight against corruption. Only by intensifying efforts to address both the symptom and root cause of corruption, and making sure that officials are honest, government is clean, and political affairs are handled with integrity, can we avoid history's circle of rise and fall and ensure the long-term stability of the party and the country. Currently, fights against corruption remain grave and
巩固压倒
complex.
性态势，
We must
夺取压倒性胜利的决心
remain as
必须
firm as a
坚
rock
如
in our
磐
resolve
石
to build on the overwhelming momentum and secure a sweeping victory.
要坚持
We
无
will
禁区全覆盖，
continue to see that there are
零容
no
忍
no-go zones,
坚持
no
重
ground
遏
is
制
left
强高压，
unturned, and no tolerance is
长
shown
震
for
胜，
corruption.
坚持受贿行
We
贿
will
一起
impose
查，
tight constraints, maintain tough
坚决防
stance
止
and
党内
long-term
形成利益
deterrence.
集团。
Punish
在
those who
市
take
县
bribes
党委
and those who
建
offer
立
them,
巡
and
查
prevent
制度，
interest group from
加
arising
大
within
整
the
治
party.
群
We will
众身
institute a
边
system
腐
of
败
disciplinary
腐败问题，
inspection for city and county level and party committees
不
in an
管腐败
intensified
分
effort
子逃
to
到
address
哪里，
corruption and
都
occur
要
on
缉
people's
拿回案，
doorsteps.
绳之以法。
Wherever offenders may flee, they will be brought back and brought to justice.
推进反腐败国
We
家立
will
法，
work for the adoption
建设
of
腐败
national
覆盖
anti-corruption
纪
legislation
检监察系
and
统
create
的
a
检举举
corruption
报平台，
reporting platform that covers
强
both
化
disciplinary
不敢腐的
inspection
政
commission
策，
and
扎
supervision
牢不能腐的
agency.
笼子，
We
增
will
强
strengthen
不想腐
deterrence
的
of
自
officials
觉，
daring to be corrupt,
通过不懈
strengthen
努
the
力
cage of institutions so
换
they
来
are unable to be corrupt,
海晏
and
和亲，
strengthen their
朗
vigilance
朗
so
乾
that they
坤。
have no desire to commit corruption. Our political environment will, like a sea fallen calm and river runs clear, be clear and free of corruption.
七，
Seventh,
健全党和国家监督机制，
improving party and state
增
oversight
强党自我
systems.
净化能力，
To
根本
improve the
靠强
party's
化
ability
党
to
的自我
purify
监督
itself,
和群众
it
监
is
督。
essential that we strengthen
要加
party
强
self-supervision and
权力
subject
运行
ourselves
的
to
制约
public
和
oversight.
监督，
We must strengthen
让人
checks
民
on
监
and
督权
oversight
力，
over
让
the
权力在
exercise of
阳
power,
光下运
and
行，
ensure that power
把
is
权力放
exercised
进
under
制度的笼
public
子，
oversight in broad daylight and an
强
institutional
化
cage.
自上而下
We
的
will strengthen top-down organizational
改进
oversight,
自下而上的
improve bottom-up
民主监督，
democratic
发
oversight,
挥同级
and
项目
practice
监督
peer
作用，
oversight,
加强对党员领导干
and
部的日
tighten
常管
regular
理监督，
supervision over party members in
深化政治
positions
巡视，
of leadership.
坚
We
持
will
发现
intensify
问
political
题，
inspection
形
to
成震
identify
慑不
problems
动
and
摇，
ensure that
坚持巡
deterrence
视巡
works.
查，
We will
上下
establish
联
an
动
oversight
监督，
network that facilitates coordination in
深化
disciplinary
国家监
inspections
察体制改
conducted
革，
at different
将
levels.
试点工作
We'll
在全
deepen
国推
reforms
开，
of the national supervision
组建
system,
国家
conduct trials
省市
throughout the
县
country,
监察委员会，
and establish
同党的纪律检
supervisory
察机
commissions
关
at the national,
合署
provincial,
办
city,
公，实
and
现对所有
county
行
level,
使公权力
which
的公
shares
职人
office
员
and work together with
监
the
察
public
全覆盖，
disciplinary inspection
制
commission.
定国家监
This
察
will
法，
ensure that supervision covers
依法
everyone in
赋予
the public
监察委
sector
员会
who exercise
职责
public
权
power.
限和
A
调查
national
手段，
supervision law will be
用
formulated.
留置
Supervisory
取代
commission will be
两
given
规措施，
responsibilities, powers, and means of
改革审
investigations
计管
in
理体
accordance
制，
with the
完
law.
善统计体制，
We will reform the auditing
构建
management
党
system
统
and
一指
improve
挥
the
全
statistics
面覆
system.
盖
We'll establish
权威
an
高效的
authoritative,
监
efficient
督体系，
oversight system
把党内监
with
督
a
同国家
complete
机关监
coverage
督、
under the
民主监督、
party's
司法
unified
监督、
command
群众监
and
督、舆论监
integrate
督，贯通
inter-party
起来，
oversight with oversight
增
by
强
state
监督
organs,
合力，
democratic oversight, judicial oversight, public oversight, oversight through public
把
opinions.
全面增强
Eighth,
执政权
strengthening
力，
every dimension of our ability for governance.
领导13亿多人的
To
社会主义
lead
大
a
国，
large socialist country of more than 1.3
政治过硬，
billion people,
也要
our
本领
party
高强，
must be both politically strong
要
and
增强
highly
学习本领，
competent.
在
We should
全
be
党
good at
营造
learning.
善于学
We
习、
should
勇于
foster
实
a
践的
strong
农妇氛围，
atmosphere of
建
learning
设
and practicing in a
马克思主
party
义
and
学习
build
型政党，
our party
推
into a
动建
Marxist
设学习
learning
大
party. We should nurture a love
增
of
强
learning
政
in our
治
people.
领导本领，
We should
坚
be
持
good
战
at
略思维、
exercising
创新
political
思维、
leadership.
辩证
We
思
should have
维、
strategic
法治思维、
perspectives,
底线
develop
思维，
critical thinking,
科
and
学制定
dialogical
和坚决
approach
执
to
行党的
thinking.
路线
We
方
should
针
think
政
in
策，
terms of rule of
把
law
党
and
总
think
揽
about
全
worst
局，
case
协调
scenarios.
各
We
方，
should formulate sound party lines, principles, and policy and
增
resolutely
强改
implement
革
them,
创新本领，
ensuring that the party
保持
exercises
锐意
overall
进取
leadership
的
and
竞争风
coordinates
貌，
work in all
善
areas.
于结合
We
实
should be
际，
good
创造
reformers
性
and
推动
pioneers.
工
We should be
善于利用
enterprising,
互联网
work
技术和
creatively
信息
in
化
light
手
of
段
accurate
开展
conditions. And adapt to apply information technology, including internet, in our work. We should be good at promoting sound development. We should effectively put into practice the new development philosophy and continue to break new grounds for development. We should be good at exercising law-based governance. We'll act more quickly to put in place a system, party rules, and regulations that cover all aspects of the party leadership and party building, and strengthen and improve party leadership over bodies of state power. We should be good at engaging with the people. We should develop new systems, mechanisms, ways, and means of the work. We will urge trade nations, Chinese Communist Youth League organizations, women's federations, and other people's organizations to strengthen their political consciousness, become more advanced and better represent the people, to play their role as bridges linking the party with the people, and to organize and motivate the people to follow the party. We should be good at implementing the policy. We should be open and frank, take effective measures to address real issues and seek good outcomes. We should be ready both to act resolutely and swiftly to make sustained efforts to tackle tough issues head-on. We should be good at managing risks. We will improve risk prevention and control management in all areas, skillfully handle various complex issues, and overcome all difficulties and obstacles that we meet on our way, and keep a firm hold on the initiative of our work. Comrades, a great cause calls for a leadership of a strong party. As long as our party keeps itself competent and strong, always remain true to the people's aspiration and work in concert with the people, we can and will navigate the great ship bearing the great dream of the Chinese dream to conquer the waves and reach our destination. Comrades, the Chinese nation is a great nation, has been through hardships and adversity, but remain indomitable. The Chinese people are great people. They are industrious and brave. And they never pause in the pursuit of progress. The Communist Party of China is a great party. It has courage to fight and the mettle to win. The wheels of history roll on. The tides of the times are vast and mighty. History looks kindly on those who work with resolve, with drive and ambition, and with plenty of guts. It won't wait for the hesitant, the apathetic, and those shy of challenges. All of us in the party must work hard and live simply, guard against arrogance and impetuosity, and lose no time in progressing along the long march of the new era. We must conscientiously safeguard the solidarity and unity of the party, maintain the party's deep bond with the people, and strengthen the great unity of the Chinese people of all ethnic groups and the great unity of all the sons and daughters of the Chinese nations at home and abroad. We must unite all the forces that can be united and work as one to progress towards the brilliant future of national rejuvenation. A nation will prosper only when its young people thrive. A country will be full of hope and have a great tomorrow only when its younger generation have ideals, abilities, and a strong sense of responsibility. The Chinese dream is a dream about history, the present, and the future. It is a dream of our generation, but even more so, a dream of the younger generations. The Chinese dream of national rejuvenation will be realized ultimately through the endeavors of young people, generation by generation. All of us in the party should care about the young people and set stage for them to excel. To all our young people, you should have firm ideals and convictions, aim high, and have your feet firmly on the ground. You should ride the waves of your day, and in the course of realizing the Chinese dream, fulfill your youthful dreams, and write a vivid chapter in your tireless endeavor to serve the interests of the people. A just cause should be pursued for the common good. Rooted in a land of more than 9.6 million square kilometers, nourished by a nation's culture of more than 5,000 years, and backed by the invincible force of more than 1.3 billion people, we have an infinite vast stage of our era, a historical heritage of unmatched depths, and an incomparable resolve that enable us to forge ahead on the road of socialism with Chinese characteristics. We, the entire party, and the Chinese people of all ethnic groups should rally closely around the party central committee and hold high the banner of socialism with Chinese characteristics. We should keep on working with great determination to accomplish the three historical tasks of advancing modernization, realizing China's reunification, and preserving world peace and promoting common development. We should secure a decisive victory in finishing the building a moderately prosperous society in all aspects, striving for the great success of socialism, the Chinese characteristic of a new era, and realize the Chinese dream of national rejuvenation, and see that all people realize their aspiration for a better life. Delegates, just now we heard the report of General Secretary Xi Jinping on the work of the 18th Congress. Please deliberate the report. Now the meeting ends.